it literally moments before I hit the go live button, literally maybe 5 seconds before I hit it, Donald Trump pardoned Paul Manafort and Roger Stone, who, if you don't know who Paul Manafort and Roger Stone are, you can imagine Roger Stone by just like imagining a camp villain from a 60s or 70s movie, who took steroids who started taking steroids when he was 50 and liked dressing like a penguin. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe Roger Stone, who, at least in his favor, has a look going. Paul Manafort I can't really describe except to say old white dude, doughy faced, typical. This is an optimistic stream, which is, why seeing that I should have muted my phone. I mean, I did mute it. I muted it. He also pardoned Jared Kushner's father. I muted it so I can't hear it. Unfortunately, I can still see it. And so when I couldn't resist looking, and admittedly, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I should have waited. Because now all I want to do is talk about Roger Stone and what a ridiculous human being he is. But I'm not going to. I'm going to. Well, so obviously, hi everybody. Good evening. It is the eve before Christmas Eve for those of you who celebrate Christmas. I'm not much of a Christmas person, except for my kids. But I do have a star hanging. I'm just realizing it looks kind of silly, but because you can see the top spring there. You couldn't see the spring when it wasn't turned on. So, of course, I checked it when it was not turned on, and it looked fine. Now I turned it on, and you know what? This is actually a good... nobody cares about this but me, but I'm going to show you all anyway, just because I think this is interesting. As you all know, as most of you probably know, I shoot these on Blackmagic cameras. I shoot these live streams on Blackmagic cameras, both, that one there, this one here. Blackmagic cameras. Sometimes I have a third camera set up. I don't have that set up today because I moved that camera because the cameras that I use for my regular channel, when I say regular channel, I mean the channel that I do far fewer videos for than this one, I use Canons for that. The thing is, right, like calibrating cameras together is it's easy to do. Cross company calibration is a lot more difficult. Anyway, I've often sort of extolled the virtues of the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, which is a sub $1,500 camera. I think it's down, like you can get a used one now for less than $1,000. 4K, shoots ProRes, shoots RAW. It's a camera that would have cost 4 or 5 times as much just a few years ago. I love it. So but it has this. I'm going to see how quickly I lose people doing this. It has this thing called a dual native ISO sensor, which means that before it boosts the analog signal into the digital chain, which it does with that's what ISO is basically doing, is boosting the gain. It's like turning up the volume of an amplifier or your stereo or what have you. So there's a dual gain sensor on these Blackmagic cameras, and they did that to address an issue that they had with earlier cameras where they weren't very good in low light. So now basically what you have is you have a camera with two settings, or two groups of ISO settings, one that is good in low light and one that is better for scenes that are not low light. And I'm going to demonstrate right now, because what happens is you get to a certain ISO setting and then you go one notch above that setting and it kicks into the second, the dual native part of it, the second ISO setting, which is intended for low light. What you sacrifice there is a lot of highlight information. And I'm going to show you that happening right now by opening up my little software controller. Now watch the star. Watch the bloom on the star. Just watch the lights on it. See, you can see where it's blown out. Like every star is just white. There's pretty much like a white ball. That is because I am on the higher end of the sensor. I have kicked in the second gain channel for that camera. Now watch me lower it by 1. I just lowered it by 1. And you can see even what it did to my skin. Like, this is kind of a matter of taste, right? But like there, you're just losing a lot of highlight detail. You're kind of gaining punch and you're losing noise in the shadows, which is good. Down here, you're retaining more of kind of a filmic quality, dare I say, filmic quality. Less saturated, less punchy. All I'm doing there is increasing the ISO from 1000 to 1250 or 800 to 1000. I'm going to leave it here, even though this sacrifices some of the highlight intensity, because I think this is a more, just a more interesting, it's more of a broadcast look. Who is saying hi? Emmy, you can't stick around. Oh, I'm sad to hear that. $100, win $100 if you were able to stick around. I'm not going to do that thing that people do where they're like, oh, I'm going to give away $100 and I'm going to make you wait until the end of the stream to do it. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to wait until the end of the stream to do it. But I'm not going to do it right now either. I will do it shortly. It's okay if you don't have to understand, Elliot. But I mean, you can understand looking at this what happens to the light. Bam! Look how nice and smooth it looks. Look at my glorious skin. And then, boom, detail is lost in the highlights. Contrast is increased. Saturation is increased a bit. Some would say this looks better, but personally, I would much rather work with an image like this than an image like this, right? And so would most people. But this is for broadcast. This is not for. There's not going to be any additional production work being done on this. So let's just agree to disagree. If you think that I should be on the lower gain stage, I'm not. So good evening, everybody. Let me real quick say hi to the people. Hi, Elliot. Hi, Lexi. Butterfly Composer. You are you've become ubiquitous, which I like. Lexi, hi. Yes, I was. Although I think I might have done the math wrong. But try to do it quick. I don't know. If I got the math wrong and the joke didn't land, my apologies. Q, of course. Hi. Pavi, hello. I'm, look, why is this not, okay. I'm not the one who pardoned Roger Stone. That's all I'm saying. Why don't we do this? Let's line this up nicely with the, there we go. I mean, it was never really a question of if he was going to do that. It was a question of when. I'm not surprised that he did now because, right, he left for Mar-a-Lago. I don't know the details. I don't know anything about it. I don't want to get into it because I will then not be optimistic. Xava, hello. It's good to see you. How are you doing? Colorful Dreams, good to see you too. Everybody who came, I'm very, this is, I realize a lot of people are, even with the pandemic, are spending time with their family, either virtually or in their bubbles, right? So I really appreciate people coming by and saying hi. One of the things that I didn't get a screenshot of it, did I? But I wanted to show you this, something I guess this is optimistic. It's optimistic for me. I think it's optimistic. I mean, I'm happy about it. I'm feeling optimistic about it. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. Took a little screenshot there. Hopefully this doesn't reveal. I didn't look at this much to see if there's no information here being, okay, yeah. So you can see here we are at 3,500 public watch hours, which is, I think that's amazing, considering this is just for people who want to watch me ramble about, ridiculous things and talk to people from around the world about not as ridiculous things and occasionally read stuff. So I'm humbled by both the subscribers and the public watch hours. So what happens when we reach 4,000 hours, which we might even do with this video. Maybe it would be the next one. Well, then you apply for monetization. Doesn't mean you're going to get it, right? But I don't see why they deny. I'm not doing anything. The only thing I could think of is because sometimes I'll play like a minute worth of a movie, play a movie clip before I come in. I don't know. I don't think they're going to have a problem monetizing the channel. If they do that, what does it mean for you, the watcher? It's a good question. It means that I have to think about it. I was talking about this with oh shit. I just realized I forgot something. I was talking about this with Ardra, talking about what it means, when you monetize. Obviously, you can choose to have your videos be ad-free or not ad-free. I don't really as long as it's a single or one ad at the beginning, I don't really feel like it's that big of a deal. Especially if it's like a 2 or 3 hour video, right? And you only have to watch one ad to see it. Obviously I don't like mid-roll ads, and I don't like, unskippable ads or anything like that. But one of the things that monetizing does is, it also enables super chats if I choose to enable super chats, which I'm also kind of back and forth about that. But the other thing that it does, obviously, YouTube is in the business of making money. Right now, there's some value there's some very small infinitesimal value in what I'm doing right now from YouTube's point of view in bringing a group of people together to the YouTube platform, but it's not commercialized. It's not. They're not getting any ad revenue from any of it. What they're getting is brand awareness, which, let's be honest, YouTube doesn't need that anymore, right? I'm sure they get. There's other benefits they get, but they get more once they want you to monetize, right? They want you to put ads before your videos. And once you start doing that, they feature it's like this secret algorithm, like the algorithm in Tenet, which I also want to talk about. I'm going to make a note. Talk about Tenet. That's what I got to turn my phone over because that's all I'm getting now is a whole bunch of different. The Washington Post, New York Times, all the Johnny Come Latelys announcing their stuff. But anyway, so as soon as you monetize, YouTube will tend to feature you more in their suggestions for others, and it generally, and this is a very broad categories. I'm oversimplifying greatly, but generally it means more visibility and faster growth once you monetize, as long as you enable ads. Even if you don't enable ads, but you enable super chats, because YouTube takes a portion of super chats, they probably like that too, but I think they prefer just ads. I don't know what they prefer. I don't care. If you all honestly, if you all were like, I don't want there to be an ad at the start of these streams, and that was the consensus, right? Then I would much rather keep the community that we have than destroy it. Trying to get a few more people in. Although that is admittedly, one of the reasons why, obviously, doing a giveaway. Although I did not advertise it outside of my usual channels, right? So I didn't promote it or anything like that. Well, I promoted it. I promoted it to the same people that see all the promotions for this anyway. Sorry, going on too much about this. But my point was we're reaching 4,000 hours, which is lovely. I'm very excited about that. Okay, just to finish up the highs. Maddie is here. KJ, good evening. Ramona is here. Finger guns. Oh shit. Oh, Grace is here. Hello, Grace. How are you doing? Forgot to do this. It's actually a little bit warmer than I would ideally prefer it. Oh, look, I didn't tuck my monitor wires in my shirt. Forgot that as well. I forgot to wear my ring, and I forgot to tuck my monitor wires. I was kind of rushed at the end there. So apologies, and I'm actually, the focus on this is a little bit off. It's a mess tonight. I apologize. Fucking needed that though. Jeez. I recall large advertising pushes for colas around the holidays, particularly like the polar bear. Does it look like there's something in my mustache here? Oh dear. The polar bear. I just remember lots of Christmas themed Coca-Cola ads, even the cans, and I haven't seen any of that this year. I'll tell you what's annoying the hell out of me is if I see one more, like you all probably don't have this problem. I have this problem because um, I have not a lot of issue with giving up my data, which means I get lovely curtailed, or I'm sorry, customized ads. And one of the ones I get most of all, I I feel like I get this ad every time I go on CNN, and it is for Kaiser Permanente, and it starts by listing a group of people who basically didn't achieve prominence or accomplish their life goals, what they're remembered for, until they were in middle age or older. So it's like, P.D. James did not write her first book until she was 44 years old. So and so did not do X until he was 53. It's clearly like that's not the way to. First of all, it's not the way to make someone feel better about their age, to list the very narrow group of outsiders that managed to accomplish something of worth once they'd already left the most productive period, what is globally accepted as the most productive period in people's lives, which is between the ages of 25 and 40. If you're going to amount to something in life, generally, you're going to do it between the ages of 25 and 40. But this commercial wants to, I suppose, to try and encourage you to continue chasing your dream once you're over 40. It lists the outsiders, but it's like hitting the lottery. That's like a commercial that goes like, you may be in poverty, but so and so was in poverty and hit the lottery, and this other person was also in poverty, and then they hit the lottery. So play the lottery, right? I understand there's more control. You have more control over your. This is not optimistic, but I feel like when I do these, if I constrain the tangents that pop into my head as I'm doing them, if I constrain those ideas, then I run out of stuff to say. So as I'm saying stuff pops into my head, and then excuse me. Let's see if there's another one. Right. We could probably induce it. A burp will have to do. I have to go where the errant synapses firing lead me, lest we run into a dead end. But I'm trying to make them optimistic. But I guess what I'm saying is, look, Kaiser Permanente, I've seen your commercial. I don't need to keep seeing it every time. I don't need to be reminded that it is still statistically possible for me to achieve something of importance, even though I am over the age of 45. Thanks. Oh, hey, Nicholas. Good to see you. Oh, there we go again. Oh, dear. So I didn't eat much. So probably anytime I drink stuff, there's going to be a lot of gurgling going on. Let me catch up here with... Yeah, Maddie, that's exactly what he's doing. Will he try to pardon himself? Who knows? This is my mantra. I'm repeating it to myself, Butterfly Composer. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. I'm way behind here. I gotta skip forward. I want to grab... Oh, look, a new 742. Haven't seen you in a bit. Camila Cabral, I don't think I've ever seen you. Oh, ASMR Graviton Glow, I see you sometimes. Or I see you commenting on other videos. I don't know that I've seen you live, but hello. Niposi Parna. I'm much more likely to say your name. Not that it matters, not that anybody cares, but if it's pronounceable, I'm much more likely to say it. Hi, Joe Staples. I love lurking is wonderful too, right? Like I would just say like if you're a lurker and there are people talking about stuff and you feel like you have something to contribute, please don't like the moderators. I am I love the people that are moderators on this channel. Like you are in good hands to dip your toe into commenting or voicing your opinion. Um, People here will jump on that. Um, hmm, ADD, you're making assumptions, and I also don't comment on that kind of stuff. But thanks for the comment. Roma Check 75, hello. Interstellar Sea Cow, good to see you. I've been seeing you quite a bit recently. Q, of course, Q has YouTube Premium. Of course you do. You live on a yacht, don't you, Q? Because you're also a Hierophant. You are. You sleep on a bed of $100 bills. Hmm. Up, 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 up. I said hi to Lexi already. A new 742. Up, up, up. Is this true, Grace? I did not know this. So once you're eligible for monetization, or once you monetize, even if you don't want ads, they can place ads on. I didn't know that. That sucks. That sucks. All right, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to. Oh, Václav. Hello, Václav. Good to see you again with your. You think you're so cool arching your eyebrow. I mean, I literally do that in every thumbnail that I have anywhere. You're wrong, Colorful Dreams. Mexican Coke is definitely superior. Uh, it is. It lacks. I'm gonna speak like a wine connoisseur here. Mexican Coke lacks the bite because it does not come in cans. Canned Coke has a different taste than bottled Coke. It has the kind of sting of metallicness that I've grown to like, even though I'm sure it's poisoning me. But it does have a smoother taste. And this is like people talk about like, oh, you can't really tell the difference between Coke and Pepsi. Can't really tell the difference between Mexican Coke and Coke. I've done those tests, both of those, multiple times. It's child's play. You could tell the difference. I like that. There is no. It is a real difference. And of course, with Mexican Coke, it is that they use cane sugar instead of high fructose corn syrup, and there is that. I don't know why I'm still on this camera. Sorry. Oh, here. Wait, let's do. Can we do like a wait? Let's do it the other way. Coming from this side. Do kind of a. No, wait. We gotta do it a little further. There we go. Actually, this is kind of interesting because I could. No, wait. I could do it like this. Sorry, I know this is really fun for all of you all, but I can just kind of change my camera positions by doing this. And then read camera 1, camera 2. That's pretty cool because it blurs that line so well. Oh, like there's a part of me that wants to leave it like this for the whole stream, like that, but like posing, right? It's got an 80s music video vibe to it, but I don't know why that's a problem. Anyway, we'll go back to regular stuff here before we lose everybody. Hi, Dante Rosa. You appear to be new, or I'm not familiar with you. I haven't seen you, but welcome. Yes, I would imagine that they pitch this to your age bracket, right? And obviously, context of current times. Yeah, 45 was hard. 45 is in my rear view mirror for some time. We're all going to be dead in 80 years. Everybody, all of you, all 41 of you right now, we will all be dead in 80 years. Unless there is, someone who really, really breaks the odds here. And I know you probably think, well, I'm going to be the one who defies the odds, but you probably won't. No, I mean, you probably will. That's me being optimistic. That comment, I don't know what that comment is. The one about Ardra. That's fine. Ardra is not. Ardra and I mean, I don't talk about it on stream, and because I don't want to speak on her behalf or anything like that. But from my point of view, at least, we're working on stuff. However, ADD, if you keep bringing this up, I'm gonna have to ban you because I don't really want to get into that. I don't know why I double clicked that and brought it up onto the thing. I was not thinking. Okay. Yes. I loved those. They were so neat. They were, and so many things, right? I've gotten to the point in my life where it's definitely like, hang on to stuff. If you have the ability to, the thing that you have right now that will be worthless 3 years from now, 20 years from now, the people who are young, when that thing was around, they're going to want it. Like, I mean, if I had been a savvy, forward-thinking consumer, I could have been sitting on a veritable gold mine of things that people want that are impossible to find at this point. Hello, Lady Nervar. It's good to see you. Let's see. I don't know if this was a Roger Stone comment, but if so, I agree. Me? Smile? I just don't like my smile. Like I have a chipped tooth here, and my bottom teeth are. I did have believe it or not, I had braces when I was young, and didn't wear my retainer, and my bottom teeth got all messed up. A lot of people think I'm missing a tooth. There. But it's not missing. It's actually just pushed forward. And I don't know what they call the lower canine. My lower canines are fairly sharp and long. So you'll see that lower canine and you'll see the tooth one over from it, and then it looks like there's a missing tooth there. There's not. I need to do something about my teeth. Definitely. You're gonna live forever, huh, PG? Well, life is not. Here's my optimistic thought for the day, for the stream and the day. Life is not individually that important. Life as a gestalt concept is arguably more important. Life as it affects other life is important. Suffering is important. Reducing suffering is important. Whether that is done now, when you are not alive, you cannot suffer. And this goes back to that whole, well, then why don't you just off yourself? Well, no, once you're born, you don't have that option anymore in the same detached way that one who was never born does. So you can say that it is not a paradox to say, I wish that I were never born, and then to say, I'm also afraid of dying and don't want to die. But, when Epicurus said, fearing death is a bit of a logical dead end, nonsensical dead end, because when death has not come, then there's no point in worrying about it. And when death is come, you won't be there to worry about it. So there really is no point except for the final moments where you realize its inevitability, and it all kind of comes crashing down on you and your memories and what you've done and more importantly, what you did not do. And this fear of the getting used to the idea of existing all coming to a sort of final and unavoidable end. That stuff is scary and hard to cope with. Look, Joe Staples he ain't lurking. Joe Staples is not lurking. Okay. Yes, you can put people in timeout. And I think, I believe that moderators can put people in timeout as well as ban them. So I'm happy with, you all use your power, mods use your power as you see fit. Leukemania, Atilda, which is often used to mean approximately. So I feel like you're saying approximately. I don't know what that means, but I have not seen you before. So hi, Leukemania. Oh, here you go. A more EU-friendly time. What's important to me is a standardized time. And it's also got to be a time I can do and know that I can do with a reasonable amount of I can choose other times to do like one-offs, but I don't have especially during the week, I don't have an earlier time that I could do with any sort of assured regularity. My schedule is such that it would have to be on the weekend, and even then I can't guarantee it. It took me a while to figure out what would be the best time to do this stream. But the goal was always to try and make it that I would miss as few of these windows as possible and be as regular as possible. I apologize. I know, and I mentioned this in the last stream, that a lot of the people who are watching the stream, a much higher proportion of people who watch this stream are not from North America. relative to people who watch the Phoenician Sailor channel, who are almost all in North America and only a very small amount outside. Um, I, in my, well, I would say in my naivete, but I don't really think it was naive to think, like, to look at your analytics for your main channel and to say, okay, well, now I want to do like a live stream that recurs. Um, I can be, I don't think it's naive to be like, well, it's probably going to be a subset of the people who already watch this other channel. Um, so let's schedule it for them. However, I have come to realize that that is not really the case. And maybe the people who like live streams, or the people who get more out of live streams from me for some reason, tend to live overseas, or tend to not live in North America. So I've definitely been thinking about what I can do to address that. I don't think it's going to be a permanent change, but it could be more one-offs at a more EU friendly time. Sneaky tooth, yes, I do. So it hides. See, like when I open in the normal course of talking, my bottom lip goes down just enough that you can see the tops of the lower canine and then the one over, and then it looks like there's a tooth missing there. But it's not. It's just horribly not aligned because, hey, kids, wear your retainer. Otherwise, you'll wear braces for 5 years and it won't do a lick of good. Well, that's not true. My teeth were, you didn't see my teeth before I had braces. Well, I'm sorry. By Europeans, I meant, oh, by the way, I love your avatar. I just recognized that it was David Thewlis. Wait, no, not David. David Thewlis? Am I David Thewlis? No, not David Thewlis. Who am I thinking of? Jesus, wait, don't tell me. Jürgen Prochnow. Right. Very similar names. David Thewlis, Jürgen Prochnow. Optimism, yes, good reminder. Optimism? What is optimism? Sorry, let me catch up here just to get to the KJ. This very much echoes my thoughts. I just want to be sure that I don't leave anybody in a bad situation. Huh. That's right, Finland. Okay, I'm almost caught up with the comments, and we can move on to, oh, look at this. Cool Camaro 12. I've never seen you before. Gives me the Lighthouse vibe, whoever, Jürgen Prochnow. Yeah, it does. Well, I mean, he's wearing a captain's hat. Looks a bit like Willem Dafoe. And now I am up to, wait, okay, who did I ignore? Maddie, what did I ignore? I don't like to acknowledge the dad thing. Like, that's not, I don't mind it. I don't mind it in a sort of, if there is a paternal, if you lack a paternal figure in your life and you feel like somehow I can somehow be of assistance in that way, but it's like so close to this that sort of fetish that I don't want to encourage, that I just, it's hard. It's difficult. Yeah, I mean, in reality, right? Yeah, like the North Americans, generally Europeans, well, right. That's true. Right. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to avoid. People want to be mods. Here's the thing, through the software that I'm using, I can't tell who's a mod and who's not. Um, so I gotta, I'm assuming there's a couple of people who are mods present right now. But I want to move on. I want to move on to other stuff. But I will check real quick here to be sure there's at least, yeah, Q's a mod, Pavi's a mod. Q's a mod, Pavi's a mod, Q's a mod, Pavi's a mod, Q is also a mod, and Pavi is a mod, and Q is a mod, and Pavi is a mod. That's what I can tell by looking. So lots of mods. More than enough mods for, considering there's 40 people here. I think 2 mods is probably enough. Cool Camaro 12, yes, you do. I like your avatar as well. I don't mind that. Yeah, I don't mind that. Like, that's not what I'm, yeah, it's the DDLG thing I don't want to obviously promote. I don't really feel like it's a burden, except insofar as, like, I don't think that I'm a good example for anybody when it comes to anything. So, and I can't claim the moral high ground for pretty much anything. He says as he drinks sugary, carbonated beverages and eats like crap all the time. I'm not saying that, no, I don't think that, Maddie. I didn't think that. I'm just saying that all right, we could drop this. Like, it's cool. I did not think that at all. Anyway, here's something I want to do. Okay, so I want to give $100 to somebody as a holiday sort of thank you that really goes nowhere, comes nowhere near. Well, there's 2 ways of looking at this, right? You all have been like so ridiculously generous with your time, with your money, with the effort that you put into like community building, with like the knowledge that you've shared with me. One of my pet peeves about a lot of live streams is when they start to become too insular and they start to become too sort of eating their own tail, and just self-referential back-patting amongst a small group of people. I do want to continue to expand in a measured way, that I can learn stuff, everybody on the stream can learn stuff. Ideally, like, and I know this is going to sound super arrogant, and I'm sorry, and I don't mean it this way, but ideally, like, I see this as a way for me to push some of you all to invest, to look into things that you might not normally be interested in, and for you all to push me to look into things that I might not normally be interested in or know about. That's one of the reasons I love the interview feature. Like, that's when things clicked for me. Well, Pavi, I can tell you right now, right? I can tell you right now that if that happens with this stream, there will be another stream that will be, the intent of that stream will be to continue this sort of dynamic. Because I agree, like there is a dynamic here that I really, really enjoy and I don't want to lose. But there's also a part of me that would love to not, you know, that would love for this to be my job, like to just be, and I realize that is a pipe dream, right? And I don't mean just live stream, but I mean like content creation in general, all aspects of it. So just to kind of be my own boss, right? That kind of thing. So if both of those things could be accomplished, that would be great. But yes, Butterfly Composer, Maddie, for sure. If, oh, Hera Caligari. You've got Vivian. You've got Vivian as your avatar. From the young ones. Adrian Edmondson, we talked a bit about him, I think, in the last stream. And sadly, Rick Mayall. Anyway, so I wanted to give back a little bit, right? And when you do the breakdown, like when you look at like what I've gotten from doing this versus what I have given, there's no comparison. There's no way to balance that equation. I have gotten so much more from this than I have given. I feel guilty about it from time to time and feel like I should be doing more to present more. And I realize that like giving $100 to somebody is nothing, you know, and it requires no effort also, right? And it's going to be a few more minutes, Bobby. It's going to be a few more minutes because I want to do something first. But I just wanted to thank you all because the things that I have learned and the experiences that I've had doing these streams, as well as on the doing ASMR videos, right? But particularly these streams and this sort of immediate dynamic feedback and forcing me to sort of be on my toes a little bit more and to look at things in a different way as well, and to look at things, period, that I might not have looked at otherwise. That has just been wonderful. When it comes to money, right? I've never made money on anything that I do here or on the Phoenician Sailor stream. Like people, I don't know what it is. People think that you hit 100,000 subscribers and you're suddenly like you're in some tier or getting, you know, money or my Patreon is through Patreon. So I'm perfectly fine being candid about this, right? Right now my Patreon is less than $400 a month. That's what I get from my Patreon. A little less than $400 a month. Largely subsidized by a couple of hierophants who you know who you are. You're in the stream right now. Q. And I don't see the other couples, but I don't. The amount is okay. So I have the Patreon income, and a lot. I will suspend that if I feel like I didn't do enough that month, or if I feel like maybe that money would be better put towards a certain cause, I'll let people know that that's happening. Hopefully, with uh, uh, enough warning that if they don't agree with the cause, they'll opt out that month or something, right? Um, but that's what I get, from Patreon. What I get from YouTube, for over 100,000 subscribers, 6 years of doing videos, um, and I don't know how many videos I have up. Not that many, considering how long I've been doing it. But you know, I think I only have one video that's over 1 million views, and then I have a few that are close. Um, but generally, my videos tend to hit over time about between 40 and 50,000 views. Um, Monthly, that comes out to less than what Patreon gets me. The one sponsorship that I had ever taken, which was the wallet, it's not here. I literally just want to like throw it up and do the Ridge ad here. This one, which is no longer a going concern. It hasn't been for some time because I think they realized they weren't getting anything from it. They gave me $250 for that. I don't think I'm supposed to say that, but whatever. My point is that that is none of that. I spend far more than I make to do this, strictly from a looking at the money point of view, right? But if you look at it like whatever, if you spend $50 for a night out at the movies, well, if you spend $50 for a night out at the movies, now you probably shouldn't be. If you spent $50 out for a night out at the movies last year, I don't know how you managed to get out of the movie theater only spending $50. If you spent $50 at a movie theater 10 years ago or whenever it was, that sounds more like when that was about the right time for that to be the right amount of money. You come out of that with an experience. That money, you don't have a thing. You're not walking around with an object that you can say, I just spent $50 on this. You came out of it with an experience. You paid for the experience. And to me, the experience that I get out of doing these streams and ASMR videos far, far outstrips any of the monetary or, any of the other forms of reward that I might get from that. I do appreciate, yeah, right. It's nice to be recognized, right? It's nice. I don't mean like recognized on the street. I mean like it's nice for somebody to appreciate the work that you've done, hopefully based on the work and not on something that has nothing to do with the work. It can be both, and I understand that I am privileged in a way that some people are not. I was extremely, extremely camera shy when I started doing these. And I could never imagine doing what I'm doing right now 5 years ago. That thought would have terrified me. And I used to play in a band, and when I would do that, I would have to drink. Like, I had to drink. I could not get on stage without basically being so drunk that I almost couldn't get on stage. And as anyone who's been in a band knows, especially like a small band that tours regionally, I don't even know if this is something that goes on anymore or whatever, but if you're a small regionally touring band, they tell you your slot is 9 o'clock. Oftentimes that means your slot is 1 a.m. So it's hard to gauge. Like I would be sitting there saying, okay, we're supposed to go on at 9:30. So I'm going to start drinking at 8 and I should be good. come 9:30, and then they'd say, "Oh, you're actually going on at 11:30," and then I was screwed because then it was just like, "Well, I got to keep drinking," and then I would get sick. And that was not. After about 10 years of that, it became clear that one, we weren't going anywhere. It was fun. I enjoyed it. But also it was, I was relying on, I was medicating. Uh, I was drinking too much. So stopped doing that, and didn't want a similar thing to happen here. And it hasn't, because it's sort of slowly, organically grown. And I do think, regardless of what your audience is, right, end of the day, I'm looking at a camera lens right here. I'm not looking at a crowd of people, around me, some of which are doing this. That was always, especially in like the indie rock scene in the 90s, you'd get people in the crowd just kind of disapprovingly waiting for your set to be over so that Jimmy World would come on, or, you know, Thursday, or what was it? So there was a band that had Sunday in their name too. All those emo hardcore, Further Seems Forever, Dashboard Confessional, Strong Arm. I could keep naming bands that never got huge. I guess Dashboard Confessional got pretty big. Coheed and Cambria, stuff like that. Anyway, so what I wanted to do was do a quick, light holiday read. Oh, do you, Hera? Yeah, I'm sure we still have them here too. I just don't go to shows that much. I went to man, when was the last time I've been to a live music show? Was to see Jeremy Ennick, I think. He was the lead singer for Sunny Day Real Estate, which, for those of you emo nerds will know, Sunny Day Real Estate is the band that Dave Grohl poached the entire rhythm section of to become the Foo Fighters, destroying Sunny Day Real Estate in the process, who were actually a good band. And some people consider them the forefathers of emo. I don't know that you can really pinpoint it like that, but Jeremy Ennick's voice is certainly idiosyncratic and wonderful. I think that's the last show that I went to. I went to a Propaganda show a couple years ago at the Rock and Roll Hotel in D.C., and I got a panic attack because it was one of those classic situations where it's just a long hallway with a bar on one side, the stage all the way at the end, and then this pair of doors, one pair of double doors in and out. And I wanted to be up front because that was, when I was younger, that was something that I enjoyed. At the age I am now, was up front. And for the opening bands, it was just kind of like blah, blah, whatever. It was fun. When Propaganda was going to come out, all of a sudden, you could not move. And I remember I was like looking at the stage and I just kept looking around behind me and just seeing just the hundreds and hundreds of people between me and the exit, which seemed to be getting further and further away in one of those Zoom dolly vertigo Hitchcock effects. And shortly after they came on, obviously things got crazy and I had a major panic attack and I had to go outside and listen to them for the rest of their set, which was sad to me. Anyway, let's get on to what I wanted to read to you. So I have been reading a lot of these I don't want to say self-published, but small small release, uncanny authors. I think I mentioned a few of them to you before. Brian Evanson, Song for Unraveling of the World. Eugene Thacker is more of a horror philosopher. Stuff like that. So one of the things that I ran into was The Wide Carnivorous Sky by John Langan. Or John Langan. Langan, yes, Langan. Enjoyed the book a lot. There are a lot of good stories. It's an anthology of short stories. There are a lot of good stories in that book, but I was taking length into account, and I wanted to find like a short one that people could enjoy, maybe fits into like the holiday spirit. And I'm going to read that now. It should take about 10, 12 minutes, but it depends how into it I get. But this is, the name of this story is, let's go over here. Let's get a little more intimate, a little closer. Or wait, do I have to be closer or further away? I have to be closer to be in focus with this camera. So the name of this story by John Langan, which appears in his book, The Wide Carnivorous Sky, and I'm pretty sure is a nod to Laird Barron, who is another one of these types of authors, is called June 1987, Hitchhiking, Mr. Norris. Once, when he was 8, Laird had asked his father about hitchhiking. "Boy," his father said to him, "you do not hitchhike." "Well, you did," he'd answered. "Well, times were different then. Now, what if I don't have a choice? What if it's an emergency?" "You can call for help on the radio." "What if the radio's broken?" "Oh, Jesus. Gotta be careful how this Kindle app just screwed me up. Sorry. What if the radio's broken?" "Holmes's cabin is 4 miles due east. You should be able to make that in half an hour easy." You have to cross the river to get there. What if it's flooded?" His father had sighed deeply, and the boy had felt the first stirrings of nervousness. "Why can't you just let this be?" He'd looked away. "I just want to know in case there's an emergency." After a moment, during which he could feel the weight of his father's gaze resting on him, the old man had said, "All right, if the radio's broken, and the river's in flood, and whatever else I can't imagine has left you with no choice but to hitchhike, then you wait and you watch. You pick a car with a family in it. A dad, a mom, a couple of kids. You should be okay that way. You do not wave at a police car. You see a police car coming, you walk along like you're on a Sunday stroll. And you absolutely do not flag down a car or a truck with a single driver. No way. You're better off staying with whatever disaster it is than getting into a car with some strange guy." He'd wanted to ask his father why he had to avoid solo drivers. What was so bad about him? But he'd sensed his father at the end of his patience, and had let the question go unasked. Now, 9 years later, his head still spinning from whatever had been in the cloth Mr. Norris had pressed to his face, his arms and legs useless, Laird thought, "Right you were, Dad." 10 feet in front of him, the man who had offered him a ride on the outskirts of Big Delta had the trunk of his car propped open and was bent over inside it. To either side of him, within the gaping space, Laird could see what looked like bricks, stacked in rough mounds. Ballast, he supposed, for bad weather. A car as old as this one would need all the help it could get once the weather soured. His worn tweed jacket riding up the back of his white shirt, Mr. Norris stretched for something deep in the trunk. He was whistling "I'm on Top of the World." Head still down, he withdrew a pair of squat candles, one of which he set on each of the brick mounds. Pretty much the moment the car door had slammed shut, Mr. Norris had offered one soft hand in welcome and declared himself an accountant, retired early to see these grand United States while he was still able to enjoy them. Never settled down, Mr. Norris had continued while his cathedral of a car had rolled along the Alaska Highway. Just never happened. Used to think it was a failing on his part, but now that he'd left his job behind, there was no one holding him back, no one telling him he couldn't drive cross-country if that's what he felt like doing next year. He'd gone on like that for a while, describing the spots he'd visited in the bland enthusiasm of a travel brochure: the White House, the St. Louis Arch, the Grand Canyon. The man hadn't seemed an accountant. He'd projected none of the crispness, the precision you would expect from someone who'd spent his adult years managing people's money. His threadbare tweed jacket, his wrinkled shirt and trousers, had marked him as a member of a less prestigious profession, an assistant manager, perhaps, who'd never advanced. Even the itinerary that continued to spill out of his mouth had sounded forced, rehearsed. Lines in a monologue he'd written for himself. Can you all hear this okay? His written for himself. If a little peculiar, Laird had judged it none of his business. Plenty of people came to Alaska looking to reinvent themselves, leave the calamities of their old lives behind, and become something else, something new. So Mr. Norris had wanted to be a retired accountant. Let him be a retired accountant. He'd seen the white handkerchief in the man's right hand, but hadn't registered it as a threat. The recitation of place names pouring out of Mr. Norris's mouth had numbed him somehow, so that even when the cloth had pressed against his nose and mouth, it had taken him an almost shocking amount of time to process what was happening. And by then, it had been too late. There was a couple of $100 in his bag, the proceeds of a month's worth of assorted odd jobs for an old woman whose cataract sight had contracted her world to the first floor of her bungalow. Laird hoped that might be enough for Mr. Norris, but he doubted it. And when the man withdrew from the trunk of his car and turned to him, the roll of duct tape in his left hand and the length of knife in his right confirmed that doubt. Laird had his own blade tucked down the back of his jeans, a K-bar he'd bought off an old trucker in his cups, who claimed it had seen him safely out of the Chosin Reservoir. As yet, Mr. Norris had not discovered it, but if he intended to truss Laird up, and especially if he had any designs on, say, removing Laird's jeans, he'd find the knife, and that would be that. The adrenaline surging through his blood felt as if it were burning up whatever had soaked that handkerchief, but not fast enough. There was no point in calling for help. For one thing, his tongue was sluggish as the rest of him. For another, the evergreens clustered around them were a clear indication Mr. Norris had left the highway in favor of a more secluded location. He waited until Mr. Norris was crossing the distance between them to say, "Wait." The man had not realized that he had gained consciousness. His whistle died on his lips, and he stopped in his tracks, which put him slightly beyond the reach of Laird's right boot. His brows lowered in consternation. "Look, if it's money," Laird started. "It isn't money," the man said. "You can't—" "Oh, yes, I can," Mr. Norris said, although his words lacked the confidence it would have required to make them sound truly threatening. However many times he'd done this before, Laird guessed, his victims had always been unconscious. He said, "Why?" "You wouldn't—" "Does it have to do with that?" He shook his head at the trunk, its brick piles with the candles. The look that passed over Mr. Norris's face was equal parts fear and admiration. "Maybe you would understand," he said. Although, he added through a half-laugh, "I'm not sure that I do." He lowered himself into a crouch. "This car," he said. "It's not a car. Well, it is a car, but it's also something else. It's an instrument, like a pen." "Yes, a pen, and the earth is its paper, and I'm using it. I'm like the hand that uses it to write a sentence, only in this case it's not so much a sentence I'm writing as a kind of word, a word that's also a hole in the paper, and what comes through the hole. I know, it's very confusing. Anyhow, a pen needs ink, or what good is it? A pen that's doing this kind of work needs special ink. I don't suppose I have to tell you what that is, do I?" Laird said nothing. "I didn't think so," Mr. Norris said. "What I've done is I've tinkered with the floor of the trunk so that once I have a fresh source of ink in there and I've made the requisite openings, the ink can spill out in a uniform stream that's fine enough not to attract the notice of any of the authorities. You'd be amazed how far I can travel, how much penmanship I can complete, before I have to stop and look for a new source. I'll tell you one more thing, and then I'm going to have to resume my work. I'm very close to being done. I'm not sure that you'll be quite enough for what remains, but I can't imagine I'll need even all of another young man or woman after you. I can't tell you. Can you feel it?" Mr. Norris swept his arms around him, almost upsetting his balance. "I'm no longer alone. I haven't been for some time now. The words attendants, its supplicants, as I've drawn nearer to the end of my task, I've had glimpses of them. Not enough to say what I've seen with any certainty, but enough to know that they're present. They're all around us." As if in reply, the branches of the evergreens around them clashed in a sudden breeze, and Laird thought the spaces between them darkened. There wasn't time to worry about that, though. If he were going to make a move, this was the moment. He concentrated on his right foot, on throwing himself forward and lashing out as hard as he could, connecting the toe of his work boot with Mr. Norris's face, or better still, his throat. He didn't see much point in prayer, so he went ahead with the kick. His leg failed him. Instead of crushing Mr. Norris's nose or collapsing his windpipe, it made it no higher than his left knee. The man yelped, and his eyes wide with shock and pain, toppled onto his ass Forcing himself to move, Laird turned on his side, grabbing for the K-bar and catching its hilt on the first try. He rolled back, bringing the knife up to meet what he was sure would be the downward stroke of Mr. Norris's blade. But the man had dropped his knife and was struggling to his feet. The roll of tape was still in his other hand. Laird lunged for him, but his legs hadn't regained sufficient strength, and he fell, slashing wildly as he dropped. He heard a scream, and then was on his face. The scream continued as he strained to push himself to his feet. Finally, he had to settle for flipping himself onto his back, the knife up in the best guard he could manage. He need not have worried. Mr. Norris was on his knees in front of the open trunk. The backs of his trousers, the skin and meat beneath them had been sliced open, skin and fabric bright with blood. Laird's swipe had hamstrung him. He supposed he was not out of danger yet, but he found the continuous scream climbing from the man's mouth oddly reassuring. By the time his legs were steady enough to stand on, Mr. Norris's scream had faded to a drone. He'd wiped the K-bar clean on the grass now. The knife held point up in front of him, Laird circled around Mr. Norris until he came to the front passenger door. It was open. He reached in for his bag and saw as he did so the key was still in the ignition. For a half an instant, he contemplated taking the car before rejecting the idea. That was what he needed, to be pulled over driving a stolen car, whose trunk was a forensic scientist's nightmare of swirled bloodstains. Even had he been willing to chance it, his gorge rose at the prospect of sitting surrounded by this thing, this rolling abattoir. That left the question of what to do with Mr. Norris. 10 minutes ago, fighting for his life, he would have had no trouble opening the man from nave to chops with his knife. But now, the battle over, the man bested, crippled. Killing him became a more problematic affair. Not that Laird saw anything wrong in dragging the K-bar across Mr. Norris's throat, but he might be able to provide the police with information about the people he'd bled to death in the trunk of his car, and that might mean something to the family members still hoping for news of their son or daughter. The man had not changed his position, afraid, no doubt, of further pain, and Laird did not figure him for much of a flight risk. All the same, he dipped back into the car, shoved his knife among the wires tangled under the steering wheel, and did what damage he could. A single path, more than an indentation in the underbrush, led out of the clearing. The sun hadn't moved too much in the sky, so he probably wasn't that far a walk from Big Delta. Maintaining a wide space between himself and the back of the car, Laird made for the exit. He did not hold his knife at the ready, but neither did he return it to its place under the back of his jeans. As he passed the trunk, Mr. Norris stopped moaning. The K-bar raised, Laird stopped and turned to him. His face was white as flour. "Where are you going?" he said. "Back to Big Delta." "You can't do that. You can't leave me here." "Don't worry, you're not going to bleed to death. Not before the cops get here, at least. It doesn't look like I hit any arteries." They're coming. Do you understand me? They're coming." "I know. I'm gonna fetch them." "Not the police, you stupid hick. The attendants, the supplicants, they're all around us, and they won't be able to resist the blood." Laird had some smart reply ready for the man, but movement on the far side of the car stilled his tongue. He looked in that direction, towards where the evergreens were thickest, where it was darker than it should have been this time in the afternoon. The trees shifted with a breeze that he didn't feel, and then he saw it. It wasn't the trees moving. It was what was between the trees. The tall, spindly things he had mistaken for their shadows. For a moment he watched them stepping forward, raising legs that were much too thin, too high, a comic's parody of walking quietly. And then he was running as fast as he could in the other direction, out of the clearing, along the path that wound across a great meadow. He tripped, caught his foot, and went into a forward roll, from which he emerged up and running. Somewhere behind him he was aware of a terrible sound, but he did not let that stop him. His chest was a bellows full of white-hot air. His arms and legs were knots of pain. He kept running until he reached the highway, until he was nearly run down by a UPS driver. He took the ride the man offered him, and not once looked back at the way he'd come. He never told anyone about Mr. Norris, or any of it. And that is the hitchhiking holiday story that was entitled June 1987, Hitchhiking, Mr. Norris. I think it's a pretty good story. It's not the best story in the book, but it is the best story in the book that's also not really long, or not. They're all short stories, but I didn't want to be reading for 30 minutes. You understand. Anyway, I like that story. I think it's cool. Neat. I like the spin. I always like it when, I guess I like it when villains get their comeuppance, I suppose, but in a sort of way that maybe doesn't necessarily bode well for the hero either. Oh my gosh, look, it is Indigo. Here for the $100. At least you're being honest. I appreciate the honesty. The Jaunt, are you talking about the Stephen King short story? That story traumatized me a bit as a child. No. This is what the real win is the murders committed on the way. Well, at least he survived to inform the police presumptuously, unless these creatures from a Lovecraftian world do not destroy the universe prior to him calling the cops. At least the families will know. Well, Indigo, your timing is wonderful. The Jaunt, as I recall, the part that, yes, the space jump, yes. But what got to me about it was the idea that it seemed like you were jumping in time, but really you were still existing during that time and therefore going crazy because you basically were living for thousands of years. Issa-chan, I don't recall seeing you before. But so here's what I'd like to do. So to get this giveaway going. All right. There are rules that I cannot, just because I'm not, this is just the way that it has to be for this one. Maybe, If this doesn't go the right way, I will, adjust for it for these types of things in the future. The first rule is you have to have a PayPal account. Like, I'm only doing this through PayPal. No, I'm sorry, Elliot. This is me doing this. So, if you have a PayPal account, could you comment with the word, let's see, cucumber? So if you comment the word cucumber, I will enter you in the drawing that I'm going to do to immediately PayPal you $100. But you got to say the word cucumber. I don't care whose PayPal account you use, assuming you can access that money. Right? The point is, I'm going to PayPal it to the account you give me if you are the selected one. Okay. So what I have here, which is lovely. Well, you gotta choose. Like, this is. I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult of a choice. You have the option to do with the money whatever you like, right? You can't refuse it. Like, I don't want this to be like a oh, I won, I'm choosing to give it to so and so. If you want to give it to somebody else, that's fine, but I don't want it to be a game of, like, hot potato, right? Like, I'll send it to you, and if you want to give it to someone else, go ahead and give it to someone else. I'm doing that because I want to give everyone, like, a fair chance to actually get it, and I don't want it to become like this sort of thing where it's like, well, we all are sort of intent on funneling it this way. That's not really fair, right? Like, I want this to be kind of a random chance thing. Really, not cucumber? That's confusing. You just didn't have, just don't say cucumber. Like, saying not cucumber, you've kind of defeated the purpose of me doing a search for the word cucumber to be able to easily determine who to add to the spreadsheet and who to not. So I'm going to add the cucumbers to this spreadsheet. Give me a moment. Got to go back up to where the cucumbers started. Where's the first cucumber? Okay, writing with ink. Oh, are you kidding me? I can't. Okay. So, writing with ink, Luciano Pavarotti, Uhtred. Colorful Dreams. Elliot. Hera. Interstellar Sea Cow. Butterfly Composer. Gabunu 95. Maddie. Well, you said cucumber, and then later you said not cucumber, so I'm erasing Maddie now, I think. Lukimana. Lisa Shobhana. I've seen you a bunch, Lisa. And sorry if I'm mispronouncing your last name. Anu 742. I always knew. I knew you'd say cucumber. I knew it. I'm judging. Mr. Jazz Cabbage himself. PG. Isha Chun. Yeah, if you've said it once, you don't need to say it again, Elliot. You're not going to get in there multiple times. If you... Xava. So I'm putting you in there, Xava, because you said cucumber. Napasi. Pavi. Okay. Elliot, you can stop saying cucumber. Václav wrote cucumber backwards. And I don't know what that means. You got to write cucumber. Like, I need to know exactly for sure that you want to be a part of this. Elliot, you can stop writing cucumber. Oh, so Pavi, no cucumber. Okay. Deleting Pavi. Gosh. All right, it looks like that's about it. There is no Maddie, only Zool. Seriously. Shobna. Seriously, Elliot. Stop saying it. All right, so here's what I okay, so Q is on it also. Okay, Q. Okay. So these are the names that I have. No, there's no filling in anybody's places. I have Writing with Ink, Luciano Pavarotti, Uhtred, Colorful Dreams, Elliot, Hera, Interstellar Sea Cow, Butterfly Composer, Gabinu 95, Luki Mana, Lisa Shobna, Anu 742, PG, Isha Chan, Xava, Napasi, and Q. Okay, 17 people. Seems low. There's 40 people here right now. So sure nobody else wants to be in on this drawing here. No, that's it. All right, I have to give like a, here's what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't wanna you can get it and donate it. Like, you can do whatever you want with it. I'm just saying I'm gonna give it to you. You can then do whatever you want with it. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start a countdown. Let's add a countdown here real quick. Because I got to put some kind of limit on this. Or it could just go all night. Of course it's going to be chaos. Of course. Totally chaotic. Hey, Leah, it's good to see you. Leah, I thought you had a thing tonight. I thought you were doing a show tonight. If you're coming from that show, I really hope that it went well. And wow, thank you for coming. And Leah, do you want to be Cucumber? I am about to put a countdown. Let's see, for 2 minutes. Got 2 minutes in which to write the word cucumber. And when that has elapsed, think about it. Just kind of, make sure, because there are 43 people watching right now, and I only have 17 names. So I will accept cucumbers up until this timer elapses. Carlos Gonzalez, okay. Carlos Gonzalez. Shrek is love. Again, there's a minute left. If you want to be in the drawing for $100, write cucumber. If you've already written cucumber, don't write it. Leah. I'm looking at you, Elliot, and Butterfly Composer. Shrek is love. Yeah. I don't need you to write it if you've already written it. How did... Oh, I already have Shrek is love. Duh. Okay, if you said it, you don't need to say it again. Okay, coming up on 30 seconds. No more cucumbers? You have to have PayPal. Yeah, I need to be able to send it to you via PayPal. David Bowie, cucumber. Dante Rosa. Ten seconds. Chandler Boone. How many of these are fake accounts? And we're done. That's it. That's it. If there were no cucumbers before that point, then I had to draw a line. Oh, you don't have PayPal, Leah. That sucks. I'm sorry. I would love to make an exception, but I can't, because then it would be like a bunch of other people would want exceptions. I understand, like, some people need the cash more than others, but that this is just a random drawing, and if you win and you want to give it to someone who needs the cash, then that's fine. Go ahead and do that. Oh wait, no, Elliot, I didn't get you, but you didn't get in time, so sorry. That's sorry, Elliot, you're not in it. All right, I have 22 names. 22 names. So here's how we're going to narrow this down to get it to something. Let's actually, yeah, I know exactly. Well, the thing is, I wanted to do it with the wheel. That's why I got the wheel here. So I wanted to get it down to 8, right? Elliot is out. I'm not accepting somebody else telling me somebody's out. Only if they tell me they are out will they be out. So I want to get this down to 8 names so that we can end it with a spin of the wheel. So we have 23 names in an attempt to get it down to, I don't want to use a random name picker, and I'll tell you why, Q, because I want this to be very open. So what I would like to do is either of you, like everybody who said cucumber, now say 1 or 2. Going to even odds this. Just say 1 or 2. Just write the digit 1 or the digit 2. If you write both, I'm just going to pick one for you. I know, of course, that there's definitely a better way to do this. All right. Oh, good. And there's not everybody wrote 2, which or 1. I was worried everyone would pick the same number. Okay, let's get this down. So, Hera, Luciano, 2, Uhtred, 2, Colorful, 1, Lisa, 2, Butterfly, 1, Shrek is Love, 1, Q, 2, Interstellar, Sea Cow, 2, Carlos, 1, PG, 1, David Bowie, 1, Elliot, 1, Gabinu, 95, 1, Chandler. A lot of 1s, actually, so this could narrow it significantly. Indigo, 1. Uhtred, you already said 2. A new 742, 1. David Bowie, you already said 1. I don't see, or I missed. Oh wait, here we go. Napasi, 1. Lukiamana, 1. Hera, 2. I need Isa-chan and Xava and Dante Rosa. Xava, 1. No, this is going to be quick. This will be Dante Rosa. I don't have you, and Isa-chan. I don't have you, or I missed you. So Dante, Isa-chan, and Dante Rosa. I need your numbers. Even if I missed you, if you could just write it again. Oh, Isa-chan, I see 1. Okay, so Isa-chan, 1. And Dante Rosa, I still don't see Dante Rosa. You don't see Dante Rosa? Oh, 2, there. Okay, that's everybody. So everybody has been assigned a number, either 1 or 2. And I'm going to determine, right now we'll rule out half the people. So I'm going to roll a die. Did I not bring it? This is ridiculous. This thing sounds so good. All right, so I'm going to flip a coin. This is what I'm going to do. Don't tell me I don't have a coin. Could this have been planned better? Yeah, of course it could have been planned better. I have a pick, but let me get a dice. It'll just take a second. I'll be right back. Excuse me. I'm coming right back. Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves. back. I'm back. And I have my lovely, well, I like them a lot. These are like my favorite dice. They're like, super heavy. They're super heavy dice. So I'm going to roll the 6-sided die, and if it's even, then the 2s progress to the next round, and if it's odd, then the 1s progress to the next round. That's, I think, pretty straightforward there. I'm going to do it on this Kleenex. This is a test roll. This is not a real roll. I just want to be sure that this actually works and that you can all see it so you can be sure that I'm not cheating. But this is a test roll. This roll does not matter. All right, so that, you can't really see that, can you? It came up as a 1. You'll have to trust me a little bit. Okay, this is the roll. It came up as a 6. So if you pick 2, you progress to the next round. The 1s are out. The 1s are out. That leaves not that many people. A lot of people picked 1. All you people were down with the 1. That leaves us with maybe enough to actually do this on the board. Yes, this worked out well. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exactly enough. Well, one too few to go on the board. Oh, well, I figured that this would happen. That's fine. So those still in the running are Luciano Pavarotti, Uhtred, Hera, Interstellar Sea Cow, Lisa Shobana, Q, and Dante Rosa. All right, so let's wait. Yeah. Okay. So now we can bring the wheel front and center, which is what I've really actually just been wanting to do the majority of this time. I apologize to those of you who, who picked 1. But 2 was the way it went. So Luciano, my penmanship is terrible. I apologize. Uhtred, Hera. For Sea Cow, I'm just gonna draw a little sea cow. Does that look like a sea cow at all? No, not really. Imagine this looked more like a manatee sea cow. This is sea cow. Lisa. I'm using more ink for this to try and weight the wheel. So we'll weight the wheel for and Dante And for this one, start the whole process over again. I'm not doing that. For this one, obviously, spin again. All right. So with one spin of this wheel, somebody is going to get $100, and I will have learned a lot about how to do this better. Let's put a little reverb on. I want to get a little. Let's get a little. Okay. Here we go. A little background music. We've got the wheel. We've got reverb. I mean, come on. What else do you want? Let's get a little atmosphere in the air. Well, this thing must be almost out of juice. Well, if you like this music, this is a loop made from a song that the band that I was in when I had to drink to get on stage did. It's kind of an endless loop here. Let's lower it a little bit. All right. So $100. I want to give it a good spin. It's got to go around once. It's got to be like Price is Right. If it doesn't go around one time, then it doesn't count. Are we ready? Can I delay this any further? Is there any way I can delay this more? Come on, 52 people on the stream. This is a record. It is a record. Or close to a record. Coke is undrinkable at this point. So should I spin the wheel? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna spin the wheel. Ready? Have the frog on top watching. And I'm gonna give it a good spin. A good spin here. This is not gonna be a long spin. Are you all ready? Here we go. The $100 goes to... Look at it go around and around. Who's it going to land on? Is it going to be Q? There, oh, Q just went around. Oh, see. Oh, oh my God. And it goes to Lisa Shobna. Shobana. Very close to Q and very close to Interstellar Sea Cow. But congratulations to Lisa Shobana. You can see this was very fair. It wasn't even close, although I kind of thought I was going to get around to Q, because I don't know if Q is the next. Almost got to Q, and it just barely missed. So Lisa Shobna, if you could just send me an email with your PayPal address. I realize this means you have to send me your PayPal address. Hopefully you trust me enough to not do anything with it. Send me your PayPal address and I will send $100. What? Oh my, no, really? Oh, wow. Yay. Amazing. It's just fantastic. Wonderful. Good job, Lisa. Um, Congratulations on that uh, winning winning the game of chance. Let's get rid of the reverb. Let's see how quickly. Let's see. What is it? Number one's if you want $5, send me your PayPal's. All right, so Indigo is doing her own. This is doing her own contest in the middle of this contest, so that's great. Oh yeah, and Lisa, it's here. This thing here, this one. Yeah, below my chin, exactly. Now I gotta refocus this pup because the show is not over yet. I mean, maybe it is if you war is over if you want it. The show is over if you want it. Good job focusing that, Scott. You are clearly in need of an autofocus lens there. Anyway, that was fun. I enjoyed that. I apologize to those. I apologize to the losers, because don't let's not make any mistakes. You are losers. But yes, why don't we, it's been 2 hours. We got a little more time. I'd love to do some interviews. So if you would like to talk about, say, what the focus was originally of this was like things that you enjoyed or were able to enjoy that you don't think like had it not been for COVID and the quarantine, you probably never would have found, right? And I'm not trying to make light of what happened here, right? I'm not trying to make light of COVID. Clearly, it's a horrible, horrible tragedy, and everybody affected by it is in my thoughts, including my own family. But I guess what I'm thinking of, like, I know there are things that I have done that I would not have done if it were not for COVID. Frankly, the stream is one of them. Like, I never would have done this. I never would have streamed The Last of Us 2. And clearly none of these things, I don't think, none of the things that I've done, and maybe somebody else has done, will sort of, 10 years from now, will be like, wow, if it weren't for COVID, this great novel would not have been written, right? And does that mean that it's worth 300,000, 500,000 lives, whatever it's going to end up being? No, it's not. It's not. But I mean, we have to play the hand that we're dealt. As Genesis said, news still about the pardons. This is the land we live in. These are the hands we're given. Use them and let's start trying to make this a place worth fighting for. Oh, Indigo got a message. Her contest was resolved as well. It's fantastic. Slightly closer to making that 4-color zine. But are you closer now than you would have been otherwise? For instance, I've read a lot more than I would have. These are not things that add up to anything. It's not about being worth it. None of these things are going to be worth it. But I've practiced getting back to sort of like the classical roots of guitar playing more, sort of doing my own version of studying stories and mediums more. The thing is, I didn't need to. I don't think I'm a person who needed to be more introspective. I think I was already overly introspective, and it made me even more introspective, and that's definitely a negative, right? But so if there's something that you can talk about, you want to talk about, and you have access to a webcam or a phone, almost anything works. Email me right here and just put your name and say, let's talk about X or Y. Now, I feel like I always say this, but I would like to give preferential treatment to people who have not been on already, to try and spread the pain around. All right, let me check my email. My Wells Fargo account has reached $0. Wrong email account. I'm sorry, I'm going through these. This is not Lisa. Yes, you won. I got Lisa's email. Okay, so Lisa will get. Let me just to look in case there's any doubters. All right, in case there's anybody thinking that I'm not going to follow through with this. PayPal. Going to PayPal right now. Send by email. Not going to say what email is. Gmail.com. I just literally just said I wasn't going to say what the email is. Doesn't matter. That's not going to. Lots of people have Gmail emails. Not gonna. Okay. Double check to be sure this is correct. And you know what? Let's make it $103. That's how wonderfully. And my message is going to be a little emoji. You can, when you PayPal someone money, you can include like a little. I gotta cover this up. You can include like a little emote in there. Okay. Review. No. All right, Face ID. This is fun. Everybody's loving it. And send. Just sent the money to that Lisa with that ridiculous I guess whatever. It's cute. It's neat. Yeah, I'm trying to stay in the loop. Here, Elliot. Trying to stay in the loop, trying to remain relevant. According to the Kaiser Permanente ad that I get all the time, I could possibly... I think I just got an email from somebody. Oh, look, proof. Well, I guess it's not proof. It could all be an elaborate, staged prank. But I promise it wasn't. Oh my God, Q, yes. Yes, of course. Of course. This would be wonderful. I would love to talk to you. I don't have other email. I got an email from Indigo, but we've talked before, Indigo. I'd like to talk to someone I haven't spoken to. So if I haven't spoken to you and you want to talk about what you've been doing with your COVID time, what have you been doing in your COVID time that you might not have done otherwise, or frankly, even if you don't, like if you're like, well, I want to talk, but I don't have that covered, fine. Let's talk about something else. That's fine. I was, while I'm waiting for emails, that's right. I'm the guy, I'm the at the party guy. I was working on a piece. So y'all have probably heard it, but the thing is, I recorded it for a video, and then I wasn't, and then I keep adding to it, and I'm like, oh man, I didn't get to keep this piece, this part, like this part wasn't in it anymore, and now it's kind of like, because I recorded it, it's sort of down that way, and changing it doesn't really help, but it was, so there's this piece that I've played a whole bunch, that's, yeah, there's going to be an interview, Bobby. I understand if you have to go to sleep. There's going to be an interview. I'm waiting to get emails from, hopefully, if I don't get an email from somebody who I haven't spoken to, then I will talk to somebody that I have spoken to. Because I've gotten requests from, I believe, Lady Nerevar and Indigo. And I would like to talk to both of you, but I want to give the opportunity if there's somebody else to talk to them first. But so I was doing this, right, so that's the way that it was. And then I was thinking, well, from here, that could be the end, or it could go, so going on and on like that. Something more like that. And I was like, oh, well, I prefer that, but... And then also in the version that I recorded, I had to record to a click, so it loses some of the legato, kind of speed up and legato stuff. Oh, Maddie, you have to be a pastry chef tomorrow morning. Butterfly Composer is going. Oh, goodbye, Butterfly Composer. Thank you for playing Appreciate, always appreciate seeing you. Um, Eating gummy bears in bed. All right, let's see. If I didn't get any other emails, all right. So we have Lady Naravar and Indigo. Let's see. So I just sent links to both. Let's talk. Let's talk. It's the holidays. I feel so when Lady Naravar has entered the chat. Let's not waste any time.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Lady Naravar. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. A little tired, but that's to be expected.
I just
About
realized
yourself?
I still have reverb on. I sound ridiculous when you don't have reverb on and I do. That's silly. So you're tired? Tired just because of the time? The time?
Yeah, it's currently about 10 minutes to 3 in the morning. So
Man, yeah, that's dedication. Can I ask you a question?
yeah.
Is that a liquor cabinet behind you?
Uh no, I have collected a few bottles over time. That some I have partially drank and need finished off. There's kind of thinking about the camera being the other way around. Yeah, that way. Okay. So there's Flor de Caña, which is a Nicaraguan rum that I picked up in an Amsterdam airport. Then that's Copperberg Cherry Rum, Nika Whiskey, which is Japanese, Liquor 43. I can't remember the name of that one. Old Hopkins, and then Sea Dog Rum.
That's quite a collection. But the louver doors covering there, if you open those, it's not all liquor in there, right?
Oh, no. Oh, I'll show you.
Okay.
It might look a little weird in the dark, but it's just, to be honest, it's just a collection of trash. So,
Oh, look, I like your shirt.
oh,
Oh,
thank you.
there you go. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was just using said dice. Um, oh yeah, and see, I'm like trying to see what I can see in there. I shouldn't be doing that.
There's nothing embarrassing. So,
Yeah, yeah. That mug, the coffee mug, it's got something written on
yes.
it. Is that
Yeah. It's, hold on, I'm not sure it can be seen in the light.
Lionel Richie?
Yeah.
I see hello. I'm assuming it's something based on the
Oh,
song, but
it's
I can't
kind of,
read.
yeah, it's hello, is it tea you're looking for?
Oh, that's awful. That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Pretty bad.
um, and we also have, by the way, Indigo in the green room as well. Um, so for COVID, what has it done? What's something that you could say like a benefit, if you can think of one, that that you've done that you wouldn't have done otherwise, or something that you're at least glad you're like, wow, you know what, I never would have done this if it hadn't have been for the pandemic, right?
Um, I guess a couple of things. So there's obviously like the voice acting stuff I've talked about before. Um, I've done a lot more like trying to write stuff. And like thinking reading more stuff, especially like Eldritch horror is what I've tried to get into more. Um,
So when you say eldritch horror, what are you talking about? The genre? Or are you talking about specifically like the uh, fantasy? Like I know what eldritch horror is, but I don't know if there's like a specific genre that is just like people continuing the Cthulhu mythos, or if there's something like when you say that, what are you referring to?
I think the majority of it has been like Lovecraft's like direct work.
Oh, okay.
Um, and then some of it is like stuff in a similar vein. So there's like the film The Void,
Yeah.
which is quite like
Yes.
Lovecraftian cosmic horror.
Yeah.
Um,
Color Out of Space. Too.
yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I need to. I need to like set out a
Same
time. I'm
Nicolas
awful for
Cage.
like,
It's hard. It's hard to go
yeah.
wrong. Like I think I could watch any movie with Nicolas Cage in it and at least be
Apparently, his latest
amused.
one's not that good.
What is his latest one?
Jiu-jitsu. It's about like
I
martial
mean,
arts monks fighting aliens in the medieval time.
if you don't like the latest Nicolas Cage movie, wait 5 minutes and then just watch the
It'll
next
be
one. Um, what you just said there sounds atrocious. uh, and
Apparently,
actually,
it's based on a
yeah,
comic.
I, I, I think I enjoy it more. I enjoy Nicolas Cage movies more when they're focused on him and not like fighting or something. That
Mm,
would seems like that
yeah.
would defeat the purpose a little bit. I just want to see him going Bad Lieutenant 2 ape shit on everything and everybody. Um, but yeah, but Color Out of Space, I think that was pretty good. Like it's hard for me to recommend Lovecraftian movies. And The Mouth of Madness, I
Yeah.
loved it when I saw it originally. I watched it again recently and was just sort of like, this was not as good as I remember it. And it had Jurgen Prochnow on it, who was the avatar of somebody who was in chat
Ah.
earlier. He played Sutter Kane, which was the kind of Stephen King. I don't know. Have you seen Mouth of Madness?
I've seen like a couple of videos sort of dissecting it. Like I think there's one I watched from Ryan Hollinger, I think, who
Yeah.
does like mainly horror movie stuff. So I understand what it's about. Isn't it like there's a serial killer or someone who and Sam Neill's like trying to understand them and sort of goes insane in the process. I might be misremembering.
Well,
It's been a
so
while since I watched it.
the most famous author in the world, it's clearly Stephen King, right? It's clearly supposed to be Stephen King, but they call him Sutter Kane, and he's gone missing. And Sam Neill plays like an insurance fraud investigator who thinks the disappearance is a setup to promote his latest book. And he gets drawn into Sutter Kane's world, which it turns out like there is actually this secret place that he was able to puzzle together where it is. And he goes there, and it's very clearly like he stays at a hotel where the owners are the Pickmans, Mr. and Mrs. Pickman. Where, like everything is a Lovecraft reference. Everything is, um, and then eventually Sutter. It turns out Sutter Kane is like writing the world or something. That's the problem with, and it's kind of my problem with cosmic horror, like sort of in general, is like at the end when it comes time to confront the baddie, it becomes like amorphous blob with tentacles and
Yeah.
eyes and things, and it's just like, all right, I've seen that umpteen million times. It's kind
Yeah.
of hard to have a good take on that. Although I can't, I don't know if I'm gonna like this yet or not. Um, but I'm now in the middle of reading the Imago sequence. I don't know if you're familiar with that book
No.
or author. I'm reading like these kind of weird sort of um, not that not that popular. Why am I not? Oh, sorry, I'm not able to get this up. Okay, here we go. Um, Not that popular authors. Um, yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it was actually by Laird Barron, who is the in the story that I read. They named the character Laird after inspiration drawn from Laird Barron. Um, so I'm finding that very interesting because they're focusing much more on the noir detective. It's kind of like Raymond
Mm.
Chandler meets Lovecraft. With Lovecraft was already kind of Raymond Chandler, but there wasn't ever really that kind of follow through. And this is very much written so far like a detective novel. And I'm wondering what they're gonna do when it gets to the when they uncover what's actually going on, how they're going to like deal with it. If it's going to be another hand wavy kind of, Cthulhu rises from the water and just destroys it, whatever it is, right? That's to me like where all those stories just kind of fall apart. And I don't think I've ever,
Yeah.
apart from Pickman's model, which is why that's like one of my, or probably my favorite Lovecraft story, is because that actually had like an ending with impact, whereas the rest of them are all like, and they were never seen again, or they were lost, and and Mouth of Madness kind of does that at the end. It's just like, yeah, they go crazy, like everybody goes crazy, that
Yeah,
kind of thing.
like it's that double. The two main issues I see when it comes to like eldritch horror stuff or cosmic horror stuff in general is like it's either it either just defaults to, oh, they go crazy at the end, or there's like that, as you said, like the amorphous blob with eyes and tentacles, and it either it's like, oh, it kills them, or it turns into like an action book, like in a way, because it's like they fight it and then they can kill it, but like the
Yeah,
whole thing is they're meant to be these immutable creatures that don't quite add up.
right. But
So
earlier in the story, one of the characters revealed that they were like a master at like some particular thing, or they were immune to some particular thing, and then that
mm,
becomes conveniently handy right at the end. Um,
yeah,
I just want to say good night to a couple of people. Václav, good night. Thank you very much for coming by. And Lisa, good night and congratulations. Um, that was a lot of fun. Um, anyway, yeah. So go on. Sorry.
it's it's all right. So yeah, it's like it carries over to like a lot of the cosmic horror games as well, because I've tried a couple and like watched quite a few like videos on them, and I've tried myself running a very cosmic horror inspired D&D campaign, um where it was like set in like a Victorian town, and like I had my own like eldritch beings, but it was finding that balance between weird mystery where like the players know, and if I'm playing a game, I know something doesn't add up and there's something weird going on, and trying to match that up to, here's the monster, trying to still have that overbearing, this shouldn't be happening, this makes no sense, while fighting something it doesn't add up quite right.
I kind of feel like the sweet spot for those types of stories are like the second act, right? It's
Mm,
before the great unveiling, right? Like, and if you can like stay in that spot, Indigo. I'm sorry, hold on a second. Indigo is like going crazy, waving her arms around. Hold on a second. Let me just. Indigo, you are in the green room right now. Um, you're gonna come on in a moment here. That's what's happening. Just in case you're. And the Pickman's model is what I've been. Let me just write it in here. Pickman's model. That is the short story that I'm talking about that I really like. So I feel like maybe does eldritch horror always have to end with something so huge?
I
Like couldn't it just be like a I don't know, like a small like a small breach in the rift, right? That doesn't have to
yeah,
include like
like
a god. It could just be
yeah,
maybe a freaking deep one comes through or something, or there's
no,
something that's a little less grandiose, um,
yeah,
but the
it's
weirdness.
like,
Go ahead.
sorry, it's like the Call of Cthulhu game that came out like a year or two ago,
Mhm.
the one that ended up being a bit more linear than people expected. Like the ending is like after you've
Are you
seen
talking about
maybe
the
only a handful.
Sunken City, or are you talking about the Call of Cthulhu one?
The Call of the Cthulhu one,
Okay.
the actually one, the call, yeah, that one, because at the end, to spoiler warning for anyone who's wanting to play it, I'll put my hand down when I'm done talking spoilers. Um, there. Um, when at the end, like you make a choice of like, oh, do you like succumb to madness or do you fight against it? And then just like Cthulhu pops up and everyone goes mad, and that's it. That's the end.
So if
And
you
it's like
choose to not succumb, you succumb anyway. So it's a meaningless
I
choice.
I think like from what I remember, you can either like go along with the ritual and summon Cthulhu, where he appears in like an exact, like the exact same way Godzilla does in like the recent films, like out of the water, and then it's like all shadow. It looks cool, but it's like the
Uh,
exact same way Godzilla appears. He
yeah,
like stands up and
I'm
there's a big
sure it
lightning
looks
flash,
great. Yeah,
but
that
it
is one
doesn't
great thing
fit.
about Cthulhu is like who else has inspired such when you look at fan art, like Cthulhu fan art,
Mm.
like who has inspired, what mythology has inspired such awe inspiring art as
Yeah.
Cthulhu rising from Relay and sort of breaking the surface and being the size of a mountain, right?
Yeah.
That stuff is all beautiful, and that imagery is awesome. Um, oh, look at this! So I did not know this. PG is mentioning that Sunken City was made by the devs who left the Call of Cthulhu project. So I played Sunken City.
Ah.
I didn't finish it because of how buggy it was, but I
Yeah.
did enjoy what I played of it a lot. And I really liked they were concentrating on the sort of interracial relations and the sort of because there were like people who were kind of like half uh, half deep ones, half people, and they were kind of coexisting with humans on this island, and there was a bunch of like racism and like they were dealing with the fallout of that kind of stuff, which is what I found really kind of interesting. And then when it started to get towards the more uh, again the same thing as what we were talking about when it started getting towards the big baddie, I started to lose
Yeah.
interest.
I think one of the ways I think a good eldritch horror story can end is either like as you say like the little reveal and it's like all of this effort was for like one tiny thing that didn't even really know what it was doing. Um or there is no direct big bad and it's just the realization of stuff out there. Because there's two ways I've kind of had both these feelings actually. Like if you look out with the night sky and you like see all the stars and all that and all the constellations and there's a part of me is always like there's so much out there to explore and to see and it's beautiful, but the flip side of that is there is so much out there that we might not even have any ability to understand just watching or even just looking like in the same way you would like look across the grass and there's like bugs and insects and worms crawling about and you don't care, you just
Well,
walk on by.
there is like in astronomical or SETI and all these sort of extraterrestrial searches for life, a lot of what is said is that our problem in finding extraterrestrial life isn't going to be necessarily finding it, but recognizing it as life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because we have all of these ridiculous biases. And if it's true that humanity was planted here by aliens, which would be a really bizarre thing for us to be the only species on the planet that needed to be seeded by an extra planet kind of thing. But the idea that life could have been started by, say, an asteroid that impacted the Earth that carried, very early life forms, and that's certainly, maybe that's possible. I don't know. It sounds less
Yeah.
crazy to me. Um, but yeah, the idea that like we have this very limited, so much so that like you ask anyone to draw an alien and they almost always draw the same thing. You ask anyone to come up with like a creature that they've never, that doesn't exist, and it's always going to be a portmanteau of things that exist. And that's what
Yeah.
Cthulhu is, right? He's an
Yeah.
octopus mixed with a dragon, mixed with a huge humanoid, mixed with a some sort of fish type elements as well, right? Like and they're all just portmanteaus of things that we already know.
Yeah.
Um, so recognizing life that's more like closer to a fungus or closer to you know, who's to say that, planets and galaxies are not organized in a way that in somehow might not be considered life by
Mm.
things that couldn't think maybe the way that we do in such a sort of us-centered sort of way. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm babbling, but you started it, so
There's a thingy. There's a game called Endless Space 2 that's like civilization in space. And one of my favorite little like minor factions you can find, I can't remember their name, but it's like a single planet where the rocks and the silica and all that have like moved in such a way that the entire planet is a thinking supercomputer
are you talking
that
about
is
No
like
Man's Sky? Is
sentient
that
and lives.
what was the name of this?
Endless Space 2. So it's like the civilization games but in space, and you can find like minor factions of other sentient life to sort of absorb. And one of them is like a supercomputer planet made just by pure chance, but all the rocks and stuff aligned and move in such a way to create an electrical charge that works as a computer.
That's so. I mean that that's a perfect example, right? And what PG is saying here too, right? We have our thoughts move far slower than the speed of light. So imagine some sort of organization, a brain that's organized that actually travels at the speed of light. Um, we would be like Francis Dollaride says, ants in the afterbirth, right? We wouldn't even recognize what it is that we were looking at. Um, KJ, good night. People are jumping ship like crazy. I want to be sure and bring Indigo on as well, Lady Nerevar. Do you mind if I do that, or
Yeah, that's all
uh,
fine.
is that okay? But we'll talk again soon. Thank you for calling in. I always thank you for
Yeah,
hanging
no
out.
worries.
Okay,
No,
cool.
it's all good.
All
All
right.
right.
Talk to you later.
All right. See ya.
Oh, you're not gonna believe what I just did here. So, um, Indigo, could you call back? I went to hang up. The, I went to hang up on Lady Nerevar, but she hung up, and then the window for Indigo moved up to the same place where the button was for me to hang up on Lady Nerevar. So I hung up on Indigo, but I didn't mean to. So Indigo, if you could come come on back so we could talk. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was a mistake. It's the problem with this software. Like often I will, oh no, you didn't do anything wrong, Lady Nerevar. It's this software. Like sometimes I'll want to put a comment up, but then the comment moves up, and then you click. It's like that clickbait thing that people that those lists will do, where they'll get you used to hitting next in a certain spot, and then they'll throw an advertising window up in that space. So you think you're about to hit next, and that ad comes up, and there we go. So I'm gonna bring Indigo in. I should uh, advise everyone that it looks like she's in a closet, um, and apparently she is not in her right mind at the moment. So Indigo, please try and be. Um, don't say anything terrible if you could. That'd be great. I'd love that. Why does your name say loser? Like I don't know that is. Okay, here is Indigo, who has loser as her name.
I
Well,
lost. Why else would you think that I would say that? I lost.
wait a minute. What's going on with? Did you? It seems like your teeth are together. Did you have dental work done?
I got my wisdom teeth out.
Oh Jesus, when?
Yesterday, as I said earlier, but yeah.
I didn't see. I had my wisdom teeth
Yo,
out.
I can hear myself talking. I'm pausing it. Okay.
Yeah, maybe just
What did you
mute.
ask? What did you say? I have to be quiet because my mom thinks I'm sleeping, and I don't want her to come in here. That's why I'm in my
Okay.
closet.
Well, you can talk softer. You're talking quite loud. If you want to talk softer, you can. We can hear you just fine. I think. Um, I'm gonna get rid of this loser. It just says loser.
Because I lost the money. I didn't get the money. That's why I put loser.
Oh, I got you.
I don't want people to know my name.
Indigo. Okay.
That is not funny. That's very weird that you know that. I'm confused.
Yeah.
That's not my
Well,
name.
here we go. This is where it all happens. Why would you? So I had my wisdom teeth taken out about a year ago, and
Cool.
I was high for about 30 minutes afterwards, to the point where I didn't know what was going on, or where I was going, or who I was, maybe even, or what
Who are
life
you?
was. But you're saying you had your wisdom teeth out a few days ago, right?
Because I have to take these meds that make
Yeah,
me
so you're
this
taking
way.
like Vicodin or Percocet or some sort of opiate that is making you that
Yes,
way.
yes, 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 sir.
Yeah. Are
Yes, Your
they
Honor.
um are you are you enjoying them at all, or is it not?
Kind of. Yesterday when I was actually really high, I was very crying a lot. But
That
now
can
I'm okay. I
happen.
just laugh a lot. So, like my friend said that she was gonna eat breakfast, and I guessed what it was, and I was really happy that I guessed what it was right.
What was it?
Cereal.
Cereal? Oh, okay. Don't worry. I don't want to. I don't want. Is that gonna hurt you? Yeah. You don't want to get
No,
dry
no, 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 don't
socket.
worry about it. These people are talking, but I'm not seeing anything.
You got to be careful about dry socket, Indigo.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Okay.
gonna put a socket in your face. No, I wouldn't do that. I'm just kidding.
I appreciate you not doing that. um,
Yeah,
did did you get all four taken out? I think I asked you this
yeah,
already, didn't I? Let me ask you this. Did you get all four taken out?
yeah. I said yeah, yeah. Why would you say the same thing?
Because I'm messing with you. That's,
Oh, yo, that's for
so
Big Brother. So,
all four taken out at once. Did were you put in Twilight or were you put totally under?
I was put under. I don't even remember leaving, but apparently I said thank you, so that's good.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
They put a needle inside of me, and the doctor was left-handed, and that just didn't feel right.
Interstellar Sea Cow is sleepy time. Good night, Interstellar Sea Cow. Thank you for playing.
You need to go to
So
space, cow.
I have to tell you, like my wisdom tooth experience, getting my wisdom teeth out. If there's anyone listening on this call who is afraid of getting their wisdom teeth out, the actual experience of getting your wisdom teeth taken out was amazing. I loved it. Oh, Lady Naravar, good night. Thank you very much for hanging out
Well,
as
let me
usual.
speak as somebody who went there yesterday.
Yes, go ahead.
And is young, much younger. I
You're a
had a
little,
good
you're a little bit
time
younger.
as
Yeah.
well. If I was, no, 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 no. Okay. I had fun because drugs are fun, but if you go all the way under, then you have fun. My sister had to be up for it. If you're up, it sucks. So make sure you go under if you can pay for it. The only reason I was able to was because I had an infected one in the back, and they said that my dentist didn't feel comfortable, so I went to an orthodontist.
Yes, you have
But
you
if you
have
have,
to
yeah,
you can you gotta
understand.
go for Twilight, at least Twilight sedation. Um,
Not the
otherwise,
show.
no, not the movie. No, it's called Twilight
It's a
sedation. Is
show. So you're
okay.
saying the movie, but I'm saying the show.
Well, I'm not saying neither. I'm saying that the type of sedation you need is that wherein um, you actually probably could still respond to commands, but you don't remember it at all, and
Nobody's the boss of me.
yeah, nobody. The orthodontist arguably might have been the boss of you for about 30 minutes or an hour, or however long it took. But I remember waking up and there were tears streaming down my face. And I guess I was crying while it
Ooh.
was happening, which made me think like, was I actually in tons of pain and I just don't remember it? Like that's kind of a weird question to think about. Like, is if you are given drugs that make you forget the experience, but the experience itself is horrible, but you forgot it, then would you willingly subject yourself to that experience because afterwards you wouldn't know that it happened, right?
But
So
you
would you,
asking these intellectual questions to the wrong person. I don't
why?
know. These are moral questions that I can't even.
Well, but this is what I'm
I don't
asking
know.
you, Indigo. I'm asking you. Let's say it was you knew that having your teeth out was going to be extraordinarily painful, but that
Huh?
you would completely forget the experience afterwards. You
Yeah.
would you then go through with getting your teeth taken out?
I mean, that's what I did. I
Well, but
knew it
wait,
was gonna hurt, and I
but
knew
wait a
I would
minute.
forget. Right?
Well, do you like the anesthetic is supposed to make it so it's not painful?
Yeah.
Xava is going to sleep. Good night, Xava. Thank you for
Taylor and
joining
Indigo.
us.
Why is she saying my name? How does she know my name? Wait, no, I already said my name.
Everybody knows your name here, Indigo, and misses you too. It's good to see
Oh,
you pop by from
I've
time to
been
time. I
away.
appreciate it. And that's good. You catch up on stuff. Um, and now Lisa's back. Like
Oh my gosh,
so,
since she's glad she came back for this, because I'm such
she's
a great
gloating.
person.
She's coming back to gloat
She's the one who
about.
won the money, so of course she should come back. If I won $100, well, I probably would leave anyway, but I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about, Indigo. You like super chat. You were super chatting me all the time. You
Yes.
so certainly super chatted me uh, something close to $100 at least. So
Wow. Guess who can't do math? It was $20.
so you kept track of all because you did it a lot of times.
Yeah, I looked at my bank account and I was like, dang, this is how much money I wasted, but it wasn't that much. Indigo, don't say that, glass house, bro. Unless you're a girl, even if you aren't, I don't care. But I call everybody bro, so it's fine. How
What
dare
was
you?
the
My mom knows I'm asleep, because I told her.
what?
I'm trying to speak quieter.
Okay, you're not succeeding. I don't think.
Mercy Pops Marco.
Here's
Who the freak is
here's how
that?
you speak quietly, Indigo.
Oh,
You're gonna
okay.
lean
The game's
closer.
artist is teaching me how to be quiet. I see how it is.
You got yeah. Because I I think I think there might be a little bit. I think the medication might be interfering a little bit with your ability to discern like the subtleties between uh, a lowered voice and just saying I am speaking quietly. Saying that you're speaking quietly isn't.
Naturally, even when I'm not high or on drugs, I tend to have a hard time speaking quieter because I think that people can't hear me and I get scared and I don't like when people can't hear me. So that's why it's probably a bit harder for me. Someone said brah. Oh my god, Uthid of Bianga. Are you actually black or is that just your icon? I don't know why I care. I just thought that because I'm always imagined him as black. Doesn't really matter, does it? No. But I just thought if that's actually him, he's very handsome. If it isn't, then he's probably still handsome. Uhtred
Well,
of Brongong.
whoever is in that picture is at CRT monitors at computers that must be at least 30 years old. So you'd probably have to add 30 years to that picture. They may obviously still be quite attractive, but I'm just letting you know. You know, they,
Ooh. Mm. I'm not saying I'm trying to be with him. I'm just saying he will be. That's just my icon. Oh,
that's your
well,
icon.
he's probably handsome anyway if he's a guy.
Would you do
And if
something
he
for
is,
me, Indigo?
hmm.
Would you do something for me?
Okay, what is it? Leave.
Close your eyes.
Okay, okay. I already said I don't like following commands.
Well, no, I'm not, it's not a command. I'm just asking, and
Oh, okay. Well, I did it.
I'm wondering what image comes to your mind when you close your eyes.
Oh, I don't think. Okay, well, when I close my eyes, I think of two gay men kissing.
Just generic, just sort of faceless.
One of them has blonde hair, one of them has brown hair, and they're ruffling through each other's hair. It's very cute. I wish I was there so I could give them a big hug.
Is it realistic or is it like kind of cartoony or is it?
No, it's realistic.
And is this like open mouth kissing or is this like this is real
Uh,
into it kind of kissing?
um, they are open mouth kissing.
Yeah. So these are two people who love each other, and you are watching, and you're like that. That is wonderful to see.
Well, I said I wish I was watching. I'm not watching them. That'd be kind of creepy. But I
Well,
wish I was. But I just happen to know that they're doing it somewhere in the world. Maybe in Canada.
probably. Uh,
Yeah.
there are lots of places where
Yeah.
where that is not illegal, and even places where it is legal, where
Yeah, like Nigeria. Dang, they need to really spice it up there because I mean I think it's still illegal there. Okay, I'm opening my eyes now.
no, yeah, please, you look like you
Yowie.
still have the cotton. So you have to replace the cotton every couple
Yeah,
hours
I still
still.
have the gauze. I have to replace it sometimes, but I
Oh,
will.
look who
Also,
dropped
I
by.
do not read Yowie. Trust me, I tried. It's gross, so don't.
Noct Hexen is saying hi. Did you say try not to? What was that about Yahweh? What?
Don't. No, not Yahweh like the freaking guy in the Bible. Yahweh. Don't read it unless you like that stuff, but it's not fun to read.
I don't know
I
what you're
tried it and
talking
I did
about.
not like it.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, well, you should never search it up. I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
I'm about to search it right now because I have to.
Oh, okay. Wait, I'm not. I need to stretch my legs out. Ooh, my leg. I don't want to show my foot. I'm gonna do it anyway. My leg literally feels like there's nothing. Like it doesn't feel like it exists.
Um,
Oh my god, I can feel my foot. I'm like, I feel. It feels so weird, bro. It feels like there's. Oh my god. It feels like I'm feeling a dead person's foot.
well, you because you probably sat on it and it fell asleep. You're okay. You're okay.
I am, but I know.
Ugh.
I can't handle it, bro. I'm good.
No,
I'm good.
no, it's okay. You're okay. Like there's that feeling of sort of cognitive dissonance that you get where you feel like a part of your body is not yours. I think that's probably a side effect of the medication that you're on.
Yeah,
And I think you're going to be
Leah, or
fine.
whatever your name is. I'm in the closet because my mom thinks I'm sleeping, and I don't want her to come in my room and be like, Indigo, are you awake? If she sees it, if the light's off in my room, but then it would be completely dark because no one can see me in the dark. So Indigo discovering her foot while Stella just discovers Yahweh. That should be on a newspaper. Even
I
when I'm
still
high, I know how
haven't,
crazy it sounds. So
I have no idea how to spell Yahweh, so I
no,
don't.
let me spell it. Let me say it. No, Y
Oh,
A.
someone just AOI. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so yeah, because somebody just
Press
mentioned it here.
images. Press images. Trust
No, I'm
me.
not going to do that. I know, and I have my safe search on.
Mm.
Um, yeah, this is. I mean,
Everybody search Yowie right now. Leave the stream and search Yowie.
you could stay on the stream and search it also.
You probably don't want that.
Yeah, so this is why this was on your mind when you closed your
Nope.
eyes.
Nope. That is not. I do not like Yowie. I am not a person who is. Well, I don't think I am.
But
I'm
they're
not a person
male romance narratives, and you told me when you closed your eyes you saw two men kissing, one with
Yes,
blonde
because
hair, one with blonde hair, one with brown hair. And it just so happens when I search Yahweh, if that's the pronunciation, I assume, what I actually see are two men cosplaying, one with blonde hair, one with brown hair. They're not kissing, but they are very close and embracing there. I
Say
can't
that.
help but think there's a connection. Yes.
No,
Indigo.
there isn't.
There's
And
not.
I know
Okay.
I know you playing games on me. There is no connection. I have read Yowie or whatever before, but I did not like it because I am not somebody. How dare you, Glasshouse? You are the one who likes it. I don't. I'm on denial. Trust me. I tried to read it. It was gross. I am not against anybody who does. They can live their life. I read fan fiction with two characters who might be gay in it, but they don't ever do anything. So, because I just can't. It grosses me out. I think I'm asexual, but I'm not sure. But anyways,
But this is what is a little bit concerning to me is they're calling it boys' love. Is
that's kind of gross. I know, right?
yeah, is it?
Makes it sound like kids.
Yes,
Well,
and
I've
that's
never heard the
what's.
phrase "boys love" being used before. So,
This is what I'm on Wikipedia
you
Yahweh
want me to show you my
fandom.
recent search history? Here we go.
I
Here we
don't know
go.
why I would do that.
Oh God! Wait, no, it's not that bad. I'm just kidding. Hatalia season 7, one of my favorite anime. Google Translate because I needed to speak to my mother because I couldn't speak. Summit Dental. That's where I went. Perfect eye focus care. I'm getting contacts.
Were you very happy
How
with
do you spell
Summit?
insecurities? I'm insecure.
Were
That's
you
all I've
happy?
got.
Were you happy with Summit Dental? Would you like to give them a plug?
Oh yeah. Summit Dental. I'm not gonna tell you where they are, but they're pretty good. So.
But you were in the process of moving. Have you moved yet or not yet?
No, I have not moved yet. I am still in Arizona, upsettingly.
Okay. Okay, but still.
Yuri. Of course, Yuri. Of course. That makes more sense for you, bro.
I don't know what Yuri is.
If you searched up Yuri, you would get a lot of results because it means a lot of things.
I mean, I think of
But I think
Yuri
it's
and
girl on
Drop
girl.
Off is what I think of is the Russian
Oh yeah,
premiere. I
yep.
think.
The name, yep. Or the anime, anime character who's Russian. That's what I think of.
I'm thinking of the former General Secretary of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. I don't think that's the same Yuri that you were thinking
It could be.
of. Maybe.
I don't know why you said that so quickly, bro. Like you trying to be Sonic or something?
Trying to be Sonic.
Yeah,
No,
because
I don't think I was saying it that fast. I think that you just maybe, because of the influence of the medications that you're taking, it might seem like I'm speaking faster than I am, but I'm just speaking in a normal cadence, I believe. There's something behind you to your left that is like blinking blue, and
Where?
because you look like you're in a closet which should have clothes, but there's something to your left. To your left. Yeah, there you go. Your hand was just right. Oh, now you're covering it. It's like a metal thing Oh, maybe it's a purse. Is that a purse hanging?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
okay. That's a purse.
it's a
Okay,
purse
that's a
that I'm
zipper.
selling.
All right.
I may be possibly selling on my shop, INC Clothing and More on Depop or on Instagram.
Oh, wait. So what is this again? INC clothing?
Yeah, INC. Those are my initials. Clothing and More. Also, Q. I can't wait to see you next week. You calling this a mess? We'll see how it is. We'll see.
What?
Just kidding. No hate, all love.
You're
Because he said this is
confusing
a
me.
mess.
What? Oh. Well, I think that's more
It's a
my.
zipper.
I think Q is referring more to me than you.
One time,
Václav is
last time he
back.
said someone was a dork, and I still am not sure who
This
he
guy's
meant.
back. Okay. What's that? It's a
Someone said
zipper.
Q said someone was a dork last time, and I still don't know who. It's a zipper. Yeah, it's a zipper.
Yeah, I thought it was like. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was my fault.
What do you think it
Uh,
was?
I don't have the excuse. I don't know. It looked like it was a
Yowie?
flashing light. Yeah,
Oh no,
I thought it was a Yahweh.
Yahweh. You keep saying Yahweh like the
No, I don't
Lord.
say Yahweh. I say Yahweh. I don't
That's
know
not
how
it
it's
either. It's
pronounced.
Yahweh.
Yahweh. Yow.
Oh my god. Youch. Yeah, wowzers. I
Wowzers.
meant
That's
Taylor was a dork. Okay,
why
thank you.
why
If
you
you don't look
why you
exactly
doing
like your
that to
icon, I'm
me?
gonna be sad. Huh?
What was that? The last thing you said?
He said he meant you were a dork, which is what I guessed. And then I said if he doesn't look exactly like his icon, I'm gonna be sad. But it's fine. He doesn't need to look like his icon. I don't look like
Utred?
mine.
Are we talking about Utred again?
No, we're talking about Q, the anime boy. Like who's
How
that?
could Q look exactly like an icon that is clearly like a manga drawing? Like that would be.
You tell me.
Well, I'm saying that's probably not possible.
Oh, well, yeah. It could be
Oh
possible though. You
man,
never know.
you're a blast, Indigo.
Oh,
I miss you.
oh, thank you. I
Um,
like being lost. I'll never be like this again, probably.
so it was 24 hours ago that you had your teeth removed? One day?
Yeah.
So like yeah, so you have days still ahead of you where you have to be really careful about uh, not disturbing your packings and all that stuff. Dry socket's no joke.
Thank you,
Uh,
doctor.
well, I just I don't want
You
you
were
to
my
get dry
honor,
socket.
and now you're my doctor. So, but don't
I
worry,
was
I
your
know. The doctor called me and told me this stuff. Huh?
yeah, I was your
Maybe
owner?
you are the doctor. He kind of looked like you.
What? Oh, did
You
he?
talked very loud. I was like, Jesus Christ! Like even my mom heard me over the phone when I went there for my consultation. He was very loud. They're not a Sugoi anime boy. That's what Q said. Dang, barely anybody's talking. I guess everybody just hates me then.
I don't know what that means, a Sugoi anime
I don't
boy.
know what it
But
means
look,
either, but I
Q
just
meant
know
that
that
I
you're
was a
racist.
dork.
Sugoi, like in Japan.
And Lirio del Agua knew it was a zipper. Um,
Yeah, they're smart. You
it
know.
was only me. It was just me
Wait,
who
now
did
it looks
not
like a
know.
flashing light, so I kind of see it now. It does,
Yeah,
like in the middle, it looks like it's flashing.
that's what it was. That was what was doing it. It was the flashing was kind of freaking me out.
Oh, well,
Um,
aw. What the freak? What is that? Wait, are you deaf? Are you kind of deaf?
why would I be kind of deaf?
Because what's in your ear? What is that?
These are in-ear monitors.
What does that even mean?
It's so I can hear the stream without it feeding back.
Oh my god, Colorful Dreams just said they hate me. Well, I mean, last time I checked, I don't say hi every time somebody comes on a stream and says, hi Indigo, so
I
all
don't
hate,
think
no
that
love. I mean,
I I don't
all
think that
love, no hate.
I don't think that colorful. I think Colorful Dreams is being is joshing.
Sardonic? Hmm.
Well, I
I
don't
know
know if
he's being
sardonic.
sardonic.
Well, I just think kidding.
Wait,
Just
Uthred of Bongong said, no, we don't. Aw, thanks, bro. That's so nice of you. You should show your face up one day.
I think you're seeing comments before I see them because
Yeah, I don't know why, but I've always been more likely to see things quicker because I live in the future.
but just like a couple seconds.
Yeah, it's not really that fun of a power.
I
I'm
was gonna say
rubbish at typing.
there'd be a few things where you could maybe uh, you just got to look like you were something just scared you or something.
No,
What
nothing
happened?
scared me. I just like widening my eyes sometimes.
Oh no, see, so colorful dreams was saying uh, the opposite of what you thought. Colorful dreams was
Oh, so just ignore everything I said, KDA. Uthrid of Benbong.
uh,
Sounds like some kind of like bong.
Bevenberg,
She's ahead
Uhtred.
of her time. Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you're ahead of your
Or
time
almost
by
check 175 knows what he's talking about. Or
a
they.
couple of seconds. I love, yeah, I love this.
I should be talking about what I like with COVID. Um, I would have never. I forgot. I would have. I remember. I thought of something and then I forgot. I wrote it down. Here comes the guitar.
I'm going to play while you tell your story.
I really meant to write. We don't hate you, Indigo. Aw, thanks, bro. Anyways, or no, you're a girl. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm okay. I'm just gonna stop pretending like I know what I'm talking about. Okay, but you have great art, by the way. I showed my mom and she was like, "Wow." Anyways, I would have never cheated on my test in school. That's what it was.
You would have
Cause
never cheated on your test,
no,
and
because
that's a
I
good
wouldn't have
thing
been
that
able to.
you. It's a good thing that you cheated on your test.
Yes, because I got to maintain my straight A's that I've had for all of high school.
But couldn't you have gotten an A without cheating because you have maintained straight A's throughout all of high school?
Probably, but I guess we'll never know. He's #1 champion. Blah 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 blah.
Are
Fight
you
song.
your valedictorian?
Oh, you. What is the word? You compliment me, Sailor. I will never be valedictorian. I am not in any honors or AP classes. I just made a promise that I would keep straight A's all 4 years, and I've been able to. So I'm very, very happy about that. I would have never been moving to New York. Both sad and good thing.
You're moving to New York is prompted by COVID?
Yeah, wow. I think you need to go to the doctor. Anyways, I'm Indigo. Make up a beautiful gay story. Of course I will. Okay, so imagine this. There's a prince and there's a servant. They're both men, of course. The servant obviously isn't that intelligent because he's a servant, so he doesn't know how to read. The prince wants to help him learn how to read, but he's visiting a kingdom. It's not his kingdom, and the servant works for that kingdom. And he's wondering, why am I so allured with this servant? It's because the servant is so handsome, but also so loyal in a way that no other servant has ever had been. And he's like, wow, this guy's really struck me. And he's very surprised. And so he decided to take the servant to his home, not caring that the servant would be leaving his mother, who is coughing a lot for some reason. And the master let the prince, yeah,
Are you making this up as you go?
yes.
Okay, continue.
Let's
Sorry, I don't want to break your
servant.
flow.
No, it's okay, bro. Anyways, so the prince takes the servant. Oh, I gotta be quiet. The prince takes the servant. I hope it's ASMR. Takes the servant into his kingdom, and they have really good experiences together, and they start falling in love. Then one day, Prince finds something out. He finds out that the servant's mother is dead. Prince tells the servant while the servant is cleaning the ground, and the servant says, "Good knowledge," and keeps working. The prince is wondering, why aren't you sad? This is all my fault. I took you away from your mother on her last days on Earth. And he's like, all servants fall, Prince, eventually. We'll be okay. And he's like, no, I must see you be upset. You don't realize how guilty I am. I deserve to see your face mourning and being sad. And then the prince, and then the prince is like, have feelings, have faith. Face, not faith. Please show me your emotions. Do you feel anything? Do you know what's happened? Your mother is dead. Please, do you feel anything? And then the servant's like, I feel this. I feel this, Charles. And he says the prince's name, which he has never said before. And then they kiss. One of them has blonde hair. One of them has brown hair. Sharon, who is the prince's right-hand man, sees them from afar. He does not like them. He's very surprised because no gay in royalty. And so the prince and the servant don't know that this is what happened. Doesn't know that Sharon, that's his name, saw them. The prince is sleeping and he feels something weird in his chest. Don't worry, it's almost over. And then he wakes up. And then he's wondering where the the servant Timothy is. That's his name, Timothy. And then Timothy, Sharon comes to him and says, "Oh, I just had him killed because he wasn't doing his job right because he's stupid." And he says it so simply because, servants get killed all the time. Ooh, the air conditioner's right. Wait, no, it's not. And then, then the prince is like, "What?" And he pretends not to be sad because if he was sad, then Sharon would be like, "Why are you sad, huh?" Because the prince isn't
He has
aware
to
that's
hide.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to hide it. Good job. And the last thing the servant left him was a note saying, "Thank you, prince." That's it. Sharon's like,
Saying,
"Well,
think
huh?
different.
What?
What did the note say?
Oh, it said, "Thank you, prince." And then the prince never really. The prince is the first in line. He never really thought about being a king before. He had been obviously preparing for it all his life, but he never really truly thought about it until now. And so Sharon had convinced the king to kill Timothy. And so the prince is over his balcony looking down at his father, and he's like, "It's all a waiting game now, Timothy. Because he'll be king soon." So that's it. I forgot what I was talking about before. I feel really bad. I don't know.
That was I think that was a lovely story.
Thank you.
And
Wait.
it was not, that was totally made up on the spot. That's not something that you've been thinking about or kicking about in your head at all?
Why would I be thinking? No.
I don't know. People think about, you know,
Oh, I guess
you
people think
write,
about things.
right? I mean, you do write.
Yes, I do. That's surprising
Right.
you remember that. Thank you very much,
What?
Knockinson.
Why is that surprising? Of course I remember that you write.
Well, you didn't remember that the reason I'm going to New York is because my mom had COVID, and now she needs to go on disability because of her work, and now it's fine you don't remember, don't be like, "Whoa," but we need to go to New York to be with my family because we moved away when I was very young, and now we're going back to live with my aunt who lives in a borough. Wait, no, that's not what it's called,
I
is it?
do remember a brownstone, I think. Right?
Yeah, a brownstone. She's lucky she has it. My great-grandmother sold it to her years ago.
Right. It's
Those are very
probably,
expensive.
yeah, and now, now it would have been crazy expensive, but so it's good that it stayed in the family. That's,
Yes. Thank you guys for clapping. That's so nice.
oh wait,
Snap, snap, snap. I can't snap, sadly.
Yay. Yay,
What is that?
Indigo. That's everybody clapping for you.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
If you like my stories, too bad, because I don't have anywhere I put them except Wattpad. But those are awful stories.
I'm sorry, what?
Wattpad is an app where little teenage girls write awful fan fictions, and some people occasionally write good stories. I used to have it when I was younger, but now I don't. So, NYC is ready to take you with open arms. Oh, wait, yeah, someone had been saying NYC is a good place. I know it is. I'm going to Brooklyn. NYC is awesome. You'll love it here, Indigo. You're going to. Oh, that's so nice. Wow.
Have you
I'm a
been
little
there
scared
frequently?
rent is expensive there, and when I get a job, I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to pay for it. I have a lot of fears. I just want to be able to take care of my mom.
Indigo, you're gonna, oh, Indigo. The fact that you want to do that,
Crying on this thing.
don't worry about that. I think the fact that you want to do that is wonderful. And
Yeah.
like fear is anything that you do, is going to be scary, right? So not
Yeah.
doing it is scary too. So, and
I was kind of
you're,
scared to do this, but also only a little bit because I'm not really. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm high, so I was like kind of scared, but also not.
yeah.
So you get scared to do many things. Everything's gonna
How,
be all right. Thank you so much, Colorful Dreams. I want to meet you and give you a hug. You're probably tall, I think, in my opinion.
how is your mom doing right now?
Oh, she's doing okay. I mean, she's able to come in and take care of me, so that's nice. I feel really bad that she's doing that though, but she's okay. It's just like there's some good days and some bad days. So yeah,
It's important. It's obviously always important to have like a network of friends, right? Like wherever you are. Um,
yeah.
so, I mean, and people you can reach out to, and people that you can talk over stuff with, and um, I don't know. I hope that you feel like you could talk to people here, or
Yeah,
even
I'm
talk to
getting a
me. Or
therapist, so that's good. But I can talk to people here too. Like I
well, a
talk to Sweet
therapist,
Pea
yeah,
in DMs all the time. It's amazing.
Sweet Pea,
She's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
I would talk to other people if they want. In my Instagram is blue indigo 02. If you want to talk to me,
Blue Indigo O2.
yes, everything's spelled as it is.
Well,
Uh, but I'm okay. I'm all good though. My life is okay sometimes, so it's not that bad.
yeah, I would guess
I
that
can do
it's
myself.
I would guess that's only going to get better once you move. Um,
Yeah,
so
that's what I
yeah,
think. I
yeah,
have a lot of family there, and they're all nice. And I know that if I was end up to be homeless, they would never let me be homeless. They would all take care of me.
no.
Oh, thank you, Colorful Dreams. I used to follow you, but I wasn't sure if that was you. Wait, no, I was pretty sure. I just unfollowed. I just unfollow people all the time. I don't know, whatever. It smells like Taco Bell in here.
Did you bring Taco Bell into?
No, I brought Burger King in here, but then my mom cleaned it out. So
Okay, well maybe yeah, that could maybe you could conflate those scents.
I don't want this to end. My brain is always thinking this is gonna end soon. Whenever I'm having a good time.
What is this when you say you don't want this to
This
end?
fun thing is me talking.
Okay, well,
This fun thing is gonna end eventually, and I'm just gonna go back to sleep and have weird
yeah,
dreams.
but then you can have another fun thing happen. Like every
Yeah.
with every door that closes. Actually, I don't believe that. I don't believe that every door that I find that to be like a sort of trite aphorism that uh,
I
with every
never.
door that closes, another one opens. It's not true. Life is about doors closing, and eventually there are no doors left, or the only door left leads to death. Um, but the, oh, I made it 3 hours without being totally pessimistic, so I'm okay with
Yeah.
reverting back to my more natural state. I
Well,
think at this point.
I one time made a poem in 8th grade, and it was about like it was talking about like I'm at a door and I'm trying to open it, but there's a boulder in front of it or some crap like that. It was an awful poem, but basically it was like I'm never able to get to where I want. And then at the end, the door opened, but it wasn't me who opened it. What the fuck? Like, what that's supposed to be about? I just thought it was
Well,
a
what was
like
behind
a
the door?
fried puffy taco. I'm sorry, bro, but that sounds gross. That sounds like Cheeto taco.
What was behind the door, Indigo?
Oh, nothing.
Just
So I
emptiness. It
wanted
was
to
just
open
a
it for no
void.
reason. I wasn't look. I was looking ahead too soon when everything there was so much behind me left. I don't know what the freak is supposed to. This is. I'm just making that part up. I don't know.
There, there
I don't
is,
remember.
there is, uh, there is a philosophical school of thought that says that you should sort of try and get everything that you want or you think that you want as soon as you can, if only to prove that that thing will not make you happy. Um, it sounds a little bit like that sounds a little bit like what you were saying. I see you now. It looks like you're reading comments. So I don't know if you're.
I'm not reading them now. I'm just. I'm. Wait. Can you repeat what you said a less intelligent way?
Um, People think that if they can get a thing, it will make them happy, right? They'll be like,
Not
okay,
true.
this thing will make me happy. This change will make me happy. Once this is done, I will be happy. And there is a school of thought that says, yes, embrace that because these things will not make you happy. But the sooner that you realize that it is not a thing that you are in pursuit of that can make you happy, the better. And the, you know, stop the sort of endless hamster
Grind.
wheel of trying to get these things that will make you happy because none of them will, right?
Yeah.
It's hedonism, it's Epicureanism, it's like a cross between sort of hedonism and Epicureanism and uh,
Feudalism.
feudalism.
No,
Sure.
I'm just kidding. I
Yeah.
know what that is. I
Um,
think it applies to every like for some reason, whenever I learned about feudalism, I'm like that applies to everything in the world, in my opinion.
Kind of does. I
Because
mean,
the thing is, oh, one thing that the prince learns is that you need the bottom in order to have the top. That's what makes him love the servant.
you can't have a top without a bottom. Yeah.
Nope, not like a sandwich.
So you're saying it's the
Oh,
prince. Are you okay?
yeah, notching says, "What if nothing makes them happy?
Well,
I make you happy.
ultimately, ultimately, this school of thought that I'm talking about, that's exactly what they want you to realize is that nothing will make you happy.
Nothing.
Um,
You'll be constantly running and running. I think
yeah.
I'm gonna be happy when I move to New York, and while things will
It-
be much better financially, I have to start trying to be happy now. That's why I'm getting the help that
well,
I need.
trying to be happy is noble, and if you can do it, that is great. But
You're beautiful,
pursuing,
Jamie.
what's that?
I was saying the girl's beautiful. If that's her, she can look in the
Uh,
mirror and be like, "I'm happy that I'm beautiful," even though it's not all that matters. But
well, you're beautiful, and yeah, that's not all that matters, but you are beautiful. So why would that?
I'll
Uh,
take the compliment. I'll try my best.
yeah, yeah. I suck at taking compliments,
Yeah,
also. So
you're decently handsome as a person. So, I mean, if someone searched up old handsome guy, no, I'm just kidding. If someone searched up handsome person, it would be like you. So that sounds kind of weird to say. And I'm realizing it sounds kind of weird to say, but there you go.
I don't. Well, I don't think it's weird to say. I think you're wrong, but I appreciate the compliment and will take it as well.
Yeah, and the thing is, I know that sometimes throwing back compliments make it just seem that I was doing it because you complimented me, but no, like you're a decently attractive person, you know, like you're normally attractive. So I mean, it doesn't matter.
uh, yeah. Well,
Well, it's not what I was just joking. You know,
unfortunately, I think it yeah, it shouldn't matter. Sometimes it does, but it shouldn't. Um, but whatever. This
no,
is how. Oh, this
it
is
does in our world though. You'll go far sometimes just because you're attractive. There's pretty well, in my opinion, I think it's not like some but I think there is certainly pretty privilege. Like if you're ugly, societally
absolutely there
ugly, and you
is.
do something, and if you're pretty, there's a difference sometimes, not all the
Yeah,
time, but
I think most times there probably is. I think
okay,
people. This is why I don't think that people who are good looking are inherently less intelligent, but people who
no,
are good looking, I think, often might get more opportunities than those who aren't, and might get themselves into a position that they would not otherwise, based on their own intellectual merit, get themselves into, and therefore they may be less qualified than their status or credentials merit. I always think back to the. Do you know who the kids in the hall are?
no.
They were
All
a
that
comedy. They were a
you
Canadian.
you've talked about it before. You talked about a drunk dad on there.
Yes, that was the drunk dad one. But
I remember
the
things.
the sketch that I was referring to here is there's a monologue by someone who comes out in a surgeon's garb, and he's covered in blood, and he just comes out and to the camera he says, "I'm a bad doctor," right? And then he goes on to say, "But I was charming," and then I thought kept getting good grades in school because my teachers liked me, and I thought, how far can you coast on charm? Pretty far, actually.
Wow,
And
that's very surprising.
well, I mean,
Can't believe that
it was a parody, but I think there's
happened.
a kernel of truth there, obviously.
Yeah,
Um,
there is. If you're
Lexi,
attractive, you're seen as naturally disarming.
or
sometimes.
somehow knowing something like I don't know about attractive, but like I have gone through a fair portion of my life with people thinking that I am smarter than I am.
Yeah.
I think it's because of that right here. Like I have this thing that makes it look like I'm thinking a lot or
Oh
like
yeah, it
really
does.
really pondering something when I'm
I
not.
think yeah.
Right. So I have I think I've benefited from that probably in ways that I shouldn't. So yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of privilege in it, and it sucks.
I
It
mean, for
sucks.
me, I think I'm working towards becoming more attractive, but most of my life, well, no, let's not say that. I've been cute, but I've never been, oh my god, she's hot. I think I look better with my glasses off. That's why I'm getting contacts. You saw perfect. That's what I said in my search history.
Well,
I want to lose weight. That's another thing that I'm trying to do. But I also, because I think I would look better. It's like we're always and healthier, but that's like, like everybody just says it's a cop out. So you want to be more attractive. Come on. But yeah,
there was something that happened today. There was a story. Alec Baldwin's wife, I guess, shared a selfie of herself, and she's just recently had a child, and she basically looks like a swimsuit model, right? But she
mm,
just had a baby, and she shared like an Instagram photo of herself with her baby, and she has the body of essentially a swimsuit model, and I think Amy Schumer um, took that. Amy Schumer, who's a comedian. I don't know if you know who Amy Schumer is, but
oh
um,
yeah, she's a comedian.
yeah, I don't think she's very funny either, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I was.
But she posted basically that picture and was like, "Here's a picture of me, after I had my baby." Like sort of, it was sort of making fun of the fact that um, when you're in a position like if you're Alec Baldwin's wife, there was a big backlash against this. But I saw it and I was like, well, if you're in a position where you're someone like Alec Baldwin's wife, you have the resources to be able to have your meals cooked by a chef,
Yeah.
to be able to get like a personal trainer, to be able to have all of that stuff tracked and the ability to be in that kind of shape because she actually took offense. Like she was like, she posted something that was basically like, yes, I'm thin and beautiful, but my body, you need to accept my body too, right? It was a really kind of weird thing to me because punching up is fine. Like if there's somebody who is like super hot, like you can make fun of their super hotness, and it's the other way that really shouldn't be. And I don't know, it just seemed weird to
I
me.
would want someone to make fun of how hot I am, bro.
But that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like
Yeah.
that. It just seems like she was looking for sympathy in a way, to be like,
Yeah.
don't make fun of how beautiful I am. That's not very nice. And I just felt like, well, come on.
Yeah.
um, but
The thing is,
anyway.
like,
Hmm?
there is people like that on Instagram or whatever who are actually just really attractive, even and they still edit their photos. Like, there's so many Instagram like profiles that show like people's photos or edited. There's so many celebrities out there who lie about plastic surgery, and like to
Oh yeah.
impressionable girls, that's awful.
Oh yeah. My ex-wife is a dermatologist,
Mm.
and she does a lot of cosmetic procedures uh, in the Washington D.C. area. So a lot of politicians'
Mm.
wives,
Oh.
and she's very good at spotting like people who you don't think have had work. Almost everybody in show business has had significant facial work done, at least facial work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a matter of if they go far enough where it becomes noticeable, or if they're able to sort of keep it in the realm of it's plausible this person could look like this, but probably won't. She actually gave me an injection of Botox here to
What?
try and lessen this crease. Like
Oh.
she like for a while she was like, please let me just inject some Botox there just to see what that does. And she injected the Botox. It didn't do anything. Like this thing is there forever because I've just like spent my whole life like that.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, interesting. But you're wonderful and beautiful, Indigo, and you're gonna go
Oh.
far. And you are also intelligent, charming, and creative.
Oh.
And because of those things, you'll go far. And I just hope that you stick with it regardless of, I don't know why you just looked like you got mad at me for.
No, I wasn't mad at you. I was trying to look like all attractive, like, oh yo, what's up, guys?
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you know what? You look attractive just naturally. So, you know.
Oh, thanks.
Um, so I hope I hope that I hope the move happens. Like, if that's what you want, I hope that's what happens.
Yeah.
And please be careful the next week or so.
These people are sad in the comments, man. Sorry, but yeah, I'll be careful.
Yeah, dry socket. I'm serious. Dry socket is no joke. Like I
Yeah,
know
I know
people who
about
have
that.
gotten dry
Don't worry.
socket, and it's really really bad. So that's and that was what was weird to me about. And I guess it's not weird, but like almost all of my time, every time I've had surgery, the surgery itself is not what's painful. It's the recovery, right? Like that's the oh, you're putting pressure on your mouth, right? Just by doing, don't do that. That's terrible.
Oh my
Um,
god. Okay. I won't.
be good. Get rest. You know, alternate. What is it? Oh, no, it's only cold for the
Hmm?
first cold
Yeah,
packs for
yeah,
the
yeah,
first.
yeah. That's what I'm doing. I had Jello,
Yeah,
which Colorful Dreams loves, and applesauce,
yeah, yeah. Good.
and ice cream, which was good.
Yeah, ice cream's like the greatest thing in the world. It's very
Man,
difficult to avoid. All right, I'm gonna say goodnight now, Indigo, because
okay.
I'm
I'll let
tired.
you. I'll let you X me out.
It's been 3.5 hours, but this has been fun. I'll stick around for a couple more minutes because I got a couple more things I want to say.
I
But
will
thank
watch
you.
back and regret this probably, but
I think that story was wonderful, and I loved it, and I thought that you were great. So thank you for coming on.
uh, thanks.
All right, take care, Indigo, and feel better.
Have a good life, everybody. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, still managed to cut her off without intending to. Um, and I still have 15 hours of interview left. I did have a question I wanted to ask. So I don't know how many people are aware of the catastrophic mess that is the PlayStation 4 version of Cyberpunk 2077. Um, it wasn't just me, obviously. So I played it, and recorded it, live streamed it. And it was very, very difficult to play. Um, yeah, I'm sorry, Indigo. Didn't actually mean to cut you off. But very, very difficult to play. But now there's a part of me that wants to go ahead and stream it as it is on the PS4 now, like crappy jitteriness and all. Almost like almost to hate play it, almost, but to still enjoy it. Hopefully, apart from the times when it's like super difficult to play. So I guess I'm wondering if people would still be interested in that, because I'm thinking about continuing that stream. No, I did not get a refund. I still have it. I'm wondering, if I should get a refund or not. Obviously, I mean, it's unprecedented that they removed it from the PlayStation Store. A game of that magnitude, just really kind of crazy, kind of, like I said, unprecedented. So, whoops, sorry, didn't mean to. Just gonna have it in the background very low. So I wanted to know if people would be interested in seeing me try to get through it on the PlayStation 4. Okay, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I was not enjoying Amnesia that much. Did it actually? So I'll have to check this out, Q, because I don't want to destroy my PS4, but if it's just like a matter of it's just hard to play, if it literally bricks PS4s, then obviously I don't want that to happen. Although, like it's at the end of its cycle, really. I'm gonna have to move on soon. Who's this? I don't know you. TNX God. But okay, so I think I'm gonna think about that because the people that I know who have played it and continue to play it, not on PS4 obviously, have been telling me that it's quite worth it. So I want to sort of maybe give it another chance. Let's see. No, we gotta go the other way. Let's go the other way. We gotta go like. No, that's not. Can it only go one way? Yeah, it only goes one way. I was hoping I could fade it the other way. Well, I don't know where you would find that then, because I'm not an old dude. I'm just a dude. Anyway, it's 11 o'clock. It's been 3.5 hours. We gave away $100. We were reasonably optimistic. We didn't come up with a whole lot of fun things that people have been doing, or good things that came out of COVID. I know one bad thing, or seemingly clearly bad thing that came out, was this movie Songbird. I don't know if anyone has seen ads for it, but it looks horrendous. Like it looks like it's gonna be the worst thing ever. I do think like some things that have come out of it that might be good is this sort of monopoly that theaters have on movies, and the ability to release things for home streaming much sooner. And I did want to talk a little bit about Tenet. So I watched Tenet. And now I'm getting distracted by the music. Let's keep it. I watched Tenet. And I didn't love it. And then I watched it again. And then I liked it. And then I watched it again. And I now really liked it. Yes, Lexi, you have to have subtitles on. But I didn't like it for the reasons that I actually think this is probably a subject for the next stream, is what it does, what it did to me, why I liked it, and what I like from movies. Because I would not say that I liked Tenet as a movie that you watch for 2.5 hours. You go in and watch this movie and get lost in the world and enjoy it and then walk out and leave. That is not how I enjoyed Tenet. I enjoyed Tenet in a very different way. I enjoyed the way Tenet made me think afterwards and has still made me think. And I'm definitely doing a Tenet video. I'm setting it up. I've already kind of set up half of it. I don't have it all set up yet. But hopefully this week or next week there will be a Tenet. Yes, Indigo, please get rest and feel better. Well, see, yeah, this is, yeah, if you can't understand the dialogue, yeah. I was not an Inception fan because, and I think I talked about this before, like the Inception to me was kind of like, it was just an action movie with just a weird way of getting to the action sequences. But I'm saying, I think I will talk about Tenet on the next stream, which will be the 20th stream. It'll be stream number 20. It'll be the last stream of the year, obviously. But that will be the 20th episode. And it will be New Year's Eve. So if you're of a mind to watch Tenet, and you want to do that, that'd be great. Lexi, you really like... I don't know who this is. Who is JGL? Who's JGL? Who's JGL? Who's JGL? I know Q. We're gonna do it on I think the 27th or something like that. Yes, I have seen Sunshine, but who is JGL? Oh, I can't stand him. I really don't like him at all. Sorry. I did like Brick. Yeah, I'm not a Levitt fan at all. But that's okay. But I didn't like Inception for other reasons. But if you're of a mind to watch Tenet, please do. We'll talk about it without getting too spoilery. And thank you all for coming this evening. I had a great time, as I always do. It was great to see Indigo and talk to Lady Nerevar and talk to you all. And congratulations to Lisa. And I hope you all have, if you celebrate Christmas, wonderful Christmas, whatever, holiday you celebrate between now and next week. And no, I want this loop on. This is more kind of ending the stream kind of music. Happy holidays. Be good. Watch Tenet if you can. If you can't, you can always go back and watch it after the stream, before you saw the stream. If you do watch Tenet, let me ask you one question as you're watching Tenet. You cannot breathe inverted air, but you can eat inverted food. Explain that to me, Christopher Nolan. Why can I eat inverted food, but not breathe inverted air? And with that, I love you all. Václav, if you sent me something because you wanted to be interviewed, definitely you will be on top of the list next stream. All right. And with that, I'm going to... Whoa, am I going to do that? No. I'm going to come back. Am I going to do this? I'm going to do that. All kinds of... Can do a dip. Can do the fade. I don't know, you never know. Just going to fade out slowly. And I will talk to you all soon.